Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Empire of the Ghouls. As usual, we're going to do a quick recap of what occurred last session, and then we're going to get underway with tonight's session. So team, you'll likely recall when we picked up last week, you guys were actually in the middle of the Huldra contest. These were contests being held to honor a fallen shield sister here for the Huldra. You guys had participated in a couple feats of precision tasks, and we picked up last week, you guys were in the middle of the feats of strength. So it started off with taking a rock that was tied to a rope and chucking it discus style out into the marshes. And whoever could throw it farthest, which was sort of marked off by poles to gauge distance, would be declared the winner. And so you guys went through and did that part, and Glory ultimately won that competition. We then moved on to the next competition, which was known as Crown the Kings. And this is when contestants grabbed onto these boulders, successively getting larger boulders and placing them on top of barrels that were carved into the likeness of dwarven kings. And each rock got larger, and you had to see how fast you could do this, which was measured by the beats on the drum. And you guys started off a little bit slow to this, having a little bit of struggle, with some of you not having the strength to even lift the greater portion of the rocks, those towards the end of the competition. In fact, only one member of your team was able to lift all of the rocks, all of the boulders, and that was Grim. He had set a really good time, being able to get through all the way through this competition in 14 beats of time. And then half-freed Iron Eyes stood up, who you guys may have discovered was the shield sister and actual sister of the woman whose weapon and sword you had found, or sword and shield you had found to bring them back here. And so she had stepped up, and you later discovered that she was the champion from the previous year. And she went in there and just did an amazing job of lifting these incredibly quickly. She blew away almost every single one of them except for the very last boulder, the Vingmaga. And she ended up coming in at 13 beats of time, beating Grim by a single beat of time. There was much cheering and celebration after each of these competitions, and there was a lot of eating and drinking and being merry and a lot of joyousness here associated with these contests, especially shown towards the winners. The next up after the Crown the Kings was the Melee Trials. And this is where the contestants were randomly paired up with either other members of the PC party or the Huldra themselves and facing off against one another. This is sort of a mix of athletics and acrobatics and your general health and your attack if you chose to swap that role. You guys did a pretty good job here going through this entire event and did very well at the end, as I know you guys were able to win that competition as well. In fact, you guys won all of these competitions except for Crown the Kings. Next up was the snake handling competition, where you guys were shown this sort of strange endeavor of these serpents that were caught in cages being offered around to the contestants. They would, these sort of crones among the Huldra would wrap these serpents around your arms, your legs, your shoulders, depending on how many serpents you requested. And they would ask you then to sort of walk around. Just before this, all the contestants had to take a drink of this foul-looking brew out of a cauldron. And this sort of instilled some kind of psychotropic effects, you might say, a little bit of hallucinatory effects. And you guys then, those of you that participated, made your way around with these serpents. A couple of you, the strength of this concoction, then paired with the snake bites when you tried to carefully walk around with them, caused you to fall into a stupor. I believe that was Archgale and Laud, if memory serves. And the two of individuals that fell were sort of knocked unconscious and only rose several hours later during more parts of the celebration. Eventually, however, after that was completed, then there was the boasting contest. And this is where the Huldra and our player characters had an opportunity to step up and regale the crowd with this story of victory, of combat prowess, of significant accomplishments, essentially whatever you could do to sort of bring a really positive spin to things. And so you guys saw some of the Huldra get up and say things. Some of you guys did as well, telling tales. However, it was Laud that had the best tale and received the most applause from the gathered group around. And so he was the winner of the boasting contest. And so after this was complete, you guys were then shuttered back to the barracks and allowed to rest there once again. Eventually, however, the next day, the queen summoned you and asked for your assistance in traveling to a location where there were gathered cultists of Ragnarok. And she explained that these cultists were, she believed, based on scouting reports, that they were going to attack Haldremos. And she was trying to do what she could to sort of get out in front of that and prevent them from attacking the city. She asked for your assistance, going with some of the Huldra to defeat all of these opponents and make sure that their force was dispersed. And so you guys agreed to do so. In return, she said, once you got back, she would have the information from her diviners to be able to tell you the exact location of the Midnight Temple, which is where you're trying to go to ultimately disrupt the Blood Wedding. And so you guys made your way southeast of Haldremos, taking a skiff along the river, and then eventually found yourself, after traveling for like a day-ish, exiting that location and making your way into this large hill sort of encampment. There were these various pillars and things you could see from a distance, but the Huldra, particularly Halfreed, who was leading the Huldra, sort of devised this plan where her and her shield sisters would charge in from the north, and when you heard the sound of them charging in, you guys would charge in from the south, and you guys would sort of pincer the two groups together. As far as the Huldra themselves, this was represented by our Grace Point subsystem. So you guys have this Grace Point mechanic where you're using points to represent the Huldra's efforts and able to do a variety of effects to the opponents. You guys found yourself in this battle facing off against 3 of these crone looking like women. You had previously heard that there was at least one old woman, but it turns out that there were multiple. And these old women seem to have some prowess in magic, as they've unleashed some magic upon you, and they've also used their magic to great effect, both counterspelling some fireballs from Laud and canceling concentration with what seemed to be a very powerful Sleet Storm spell, much more powerful than expected for these creatures. And so this battle has been a little bit tough for you guys, as there's been many of these small creatures, which some of you may recognize as Frogshar. These are like little Furby characters, is what you guys were calling them, or some of you guys were calling them. There's many of them, as well as these crone women, and then this sort of strange dwarven reaver looking kind of guy. You guys have been in the middle of this fight. Unfortunately, Runak got a little bit separated from the group and was quickly surrounded by just the overwhelming numbers of the enemy, and was eventually taken down to the ground and then beat upon while he was on the ground. And to your eyes, it certainly looks as though Runak has been, we'll say, destroyed, since he's a ghoul and not quite alive. However, you guys are still fighting on and are in the thick of that battle as we wrapped up. So we will pick up today with the continuation of this battle, and keeping our fingers crossed that you guys survive. So team, that's my quick recap of what occurred last session. What did I miss? Anybody would like to add? No additions again. That'll be 2 weeks in a row. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think these competitions, there's it's pretty straightforward. There's not a ton of detail to them that you didn't cover.
That is true. Yeah, not a bunch of wiggle room in there, but yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get you guys right back over into the thick of things then. All right, we are at the top of the round. We're going to be starting with Glory here. Let's go ahead and change it up with some different battle music. All right, Glory, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
All right, I will attack the injured one above me.
All right, the injured creature to your north. All right, go ahead and make your attack. .22 is going to connect. All right, you slash out with the halberd, and that is going to slay the creature. Looks like we've got a prone icon on you there, Glory, so I'm going to assume you spent some movement to stand up, and I'm going to remove that.
Yeah. I will use my cleave to try to get another attack on that one.
And I'm sorry, was that the one to your northeast? Yes. Okay. Northeast. That is going to miss.
Okay. Second attack on that one.
Yes, 24, of course, will hit. All right, you slash down, wounding that creature.
I will bonus action Warrior of the Gods and do 3d12.
Okay. Alrighty, this little guy here is going to attack out at Caliban. All right, he's going to try to bite and then stab out with his little dagger. He will miss on both of those attacks, and Caliban, you will take 4 points of graze damage. All right, Grim.
Okay. To the creature to my left, this cat right here, is going to see my.
Yes, that'll certainly hit. You bash him solidly, and he drops.
Okay. Second attack with the guy to my north.
That is actually going to miss as the creature ducks under your swing.
Okay. Bonus action, second win. I'll end my turn.
All right, this one here is going to make his attacks against Glory. Both of those attacks will miss. Glory, you will take 2 points of graze damage. Barnaby.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to move there. And I am, then I'm going to move here. And I'll take that attack on that from that guy down below. If he wants to make a reaction attack.
He's going to miss.
All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast or use for my action. I'm going to do the vines are coming up, and I think it's 15 feet. So let me just, my apologies, let me check that.
All right, so some strength saving throws incoming. All right, so doing a quick count here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total creatures. All right, and let's see. Your DC for that is... I don't see it posted there. Can you let me know what your DC is on that, Barnaby?
Yeah, where is it on the sheets? I think my DC is a 15, but I'm trying to figure out where it is on the sheet.
If it matches your spell save DC, it should be in the spell section.
Yeah, it's at the very top of the spells.
All right, yeah, DC 15, thanks.
All right, so the first one will manage to succeed and not be restrained, but the others will fail. All right, and the creatures are going to get a save at the end of each of their turns, ending that effect. So let me go ahead and put that icon on them.
Hey, it's a little something anyway.
I would say restraining 6 opponents is better than a little something, but yeah. All right, that was your action, I believe. Anything else?
And that counts as a spell. Is that a spell action? One moment. Sorry, let me check.
Says as a magic action.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go ahead and end my turn.
Okay, next up we have Archgale, who is being controlled by Runak's player at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, so Archgale's pretty hurt. So I don't think he can do the Revivify this turn. So instead, let's see here. he is going to cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Okay.
I'll say it's 2nd level.
Okay, and I know he gets a little bonus. I think he gets, is it 3 extra?
Possibly.
It's whatever his proficiency bonus is, I think.
Yeah, but it's also plus like the spell's level.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 plus the spell's level. At least that's what it used to be, I think, with life.
All right, if you can find it on the sheet, I'm going to try to check the SRD just real quick, see if I can find it.
Okay. Yeah, 2 plus the spell slot level.
Okay, and you said you cast it at 2nd level, so go ahead and give yourself an extra 4 back.
Okay. And then he doesn't really have a bonus action. So, yeah, I'll just say clear a path to Runehawk if you can, because I got to get over there. That's the end of his turn.
Okay, then we move to our Grace Point actions, representing what the Huldra team members are doing on the battlefield.
All right, so the D6 didn't re-roll. We'll do the same thing. We'll do 2 for Harry, which is 6 creatures, and I'll let Grim pick those because he's kind of surrounded. And then 3 points of... Actually, sorry, it was 3 points of Harry, so we could do 6 creatures. And then 2 for damage, and I'll let Caliban pick that. It's just like a 9-square grid for where they'll target.
All right,
Oh,
let me.
oh.
What's the? It's any 6 I choose.
As long as you can see them, is what it
Okay.
says.
What does Harry do?
Basically, it gives them disadvantage on their first attack roll if they fail the charisma saving throw.
Okay. Then we're gonna set them up towards. I want the dwarf, please. The Reaver dwarf. This creature. The hags aren't really attacking. I want this guy. So the one that's basically one that's not trapped, Adam. This one down here. Yep. Good. This guy. And I can see this guy. And this guy. 1, 2, 1, 2.
That looks like
Yep,
6.
there's-
All right, so that is 6 charisma saving throws. Here those come. I'm going to roll all the Frogashar first. All right, the very last Frogashar will succeed on that. Let's see. So just going from top to bottom, that means the very bottom one is not going to be affected. So I'm going to take his pink dot off. Okay, and then we had 2 points for damage. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, so Caliban, select one space, and everything within 5 feet of that space is going to take some damage.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can change that then. How about we do this space right here?
All right, so that's going to hit 4 or 5 of the Frogashar. All right, here comes some saves. Okay, so 2 have succeeded and 3 have failed. All right, and throw me 3d6 then, since 2 points are spent on this. Okay, so if they fail, they're going to take 13. If they succeed, they are going to take half. So the first one failed. He is dead as those javelins come in, piercing him to the ground. Second one is going to succeed, so he'll take half. Alrighty, third one is going to take 13. He is slain. Fourth one takes 13. He is slain. And the last one succeeds, taking half. All right, all of those come in, wounding the creatures, and that is what we are left with. All right, moving over to the next opponent. All right, this guy here is currently restrained. He is going to go ahead and he is going to attack Grim on the flank. So this will be at disadvantage. So that would be a 19. He's going to go ahead and use his precision ability to add 5 to that to make it a 24, hitting Grim.
And I'm going to cast Shield.
I don't think you have that.
It's Christmas. He got it in his stocking this year.
All right, and it looks like the attack's already crashed, so one moment. All right, that's going to be 4 points of bite damage. Second attack. 5 is going to miss. All right, next up is Runak, who is dead, so we're going to skip his turn.
Hey, Adam, does he get another save to get out of the vines?
He does indeed. Thanks for the reminder. He is still restrained. All right, this is now Caliban's turn.
Hey, Adam. I thought I had been trapped in ice, but I don't have a token. Do you remember?
There is no trapped in ice, so you might have gotten restrained at some point, and then I'm going to assume shake off it, 'cause, yeah, I don't see anything either.
Okay. I'm going to bonus action my second wind. For 15 back. That feels better. And that's... is it in the details there? No, it is not. I have the ability to move on that. Let me just put that in chat. So I'm going to move 5, 10 to here, and then try the burning hands again. I certainly can't screw that up as bad a second time, right?
I can't imagine 3 ones in a row again. That'd be insane.
Oh, you've put it out there. Can I cast it as such?
Yep, that'll work. Okay, here comes 3 saves, 2 Frogashar and 1 of the Hags. Go ahead and post that. I think that's a deck save, right?
One sec. Yep.
That looks like the details posting. You're going to want to post it the other way to actually cast it.
Yeah, sorry, I just put the posting for deck save.
Oh, got it. Okay. Whoops, sorry, ignore that last one. It was 2 Frogashar and a Hag. All right, and let's see. Your spell save DC is 14, so the Hag will succeed. The other 2 will fail. So does 7 points of damage to those 2. The Hag will succeed and take 7 points of damage.
And I will end my turn there.
All right, next up is this one's turn. Currently restrained, so he's going to use his steady aim ability to make his attacks at advantage. That's going to cancel out the disadvantage from restrained. These are going to be straight up on Barnaby with the flank. I believe both of those are going to miss. Yes, even that 17 will miss. All right, new saving throw to shake off restrained.
Yep.
What is your DC there, Barnaby?
15.
15. All right, so he'll fail that. All right, that one has since been slain. Then was that one. All righty, this one's turn. He's going to nimbly make his way over to here, and he's going to attack on the flank against Caliban. 23 is going to hit Caliban.
can I? Where am I at with my shield? I'm at 21. Yeah, I'm gonna use my last spell slot. Oh, and shield that.
Sure. All right. You absorb that as the bite is unable to get through, and then he will try again with his dagger. And that is not going to get through either. That one has since been slain. Alrighty, this one's turn. All right, she is going to go ahead and blast off a ray of cold energy over towards Caliban. But that is not going to connect. That one has since been slain. Same with that one. And that one. All right, back over here. We've got another opponent. This one's going to take attack Archgale on the flank. That's a 24 and a 21. I believe both of those are going to connect on Archgale.
Yep.
All right, that is going to be 8 points of damage. This one here is also going to take attack Archgale, but at disadvantage since he's currently restrained. 12 and a 16. I believe Archgale's AC is higher than 16.
Yep.
All right, new saving throw to shake off the restrained. All right, he is no longer restrained. Alrighty, this one's turn is going to attack a Grim on the flank. At disadvantage from being restrained. Both of those attacks are going to miss. And he is still restrained. Okay, Laud.
Alright, I'll start by moving up here to see what I can see. Okay. I'm going to take a step back down here. And I can see over this rock, right? Like I've got vision here, so I'm assuming I can see like
if you can see it on the map,
okay.
You can see it.
Alright, then I'm going to cast Fireball again and try to hit so find the token real fast.
Yep, and then like I say, just as a reminder, you want to make sure you can see the center. So yeah, that looks good to me.
Yep. So I'll try to cast Fireball. And if I get counterspelled, I will use Lucky to try to deal with it.
You are not countered. All right, here comes a couple of saves. Okay, both of the hags will succeed. Here comes the Frogashar. Actually, he has 2 HP left, so I'm going to move him over to the dead pile. This guy here. He is going to fail. Okay, so 26 points of fire damage to the dwarf. And then the other two, the hags succeeded. They'll take 26 points of damage.
13 points of damage?
No, they're snow hags. They're snow hags.
Oh, yeah.
They don't like fire.
Nice. All right, so that's that. And then I still have my bonus action, so I'm going to run up here, I suppose. And the final thing... Oh, no, I can't. He can't hear me. I was going to give Bardic Inspiration to Runak, but if he can't hear me or see me because he's incapacitated, that won't do anything. So that will end my turn.
All right, that one has since been slain. Okay, we move to this one's turn. Okay, the purple dot means or pink dot means he has disadvantage on his first attack. He is going to step up and attack at Glory here. First one, disadvantage. That'll miss. Second one, straight up. 18 on Glory. That is going to hit. So that dagger cuts in, dealing 1 point of piercing damage. That one has since been slain. Alrighty, this one here is going to fire off a ray of magical energy over towards Grim. But will not connect. Alrighty, this one here is going to attack Grim on the flank. Both at disadvantage for being restrained. Those will both miss. Creature still restrained. Alrighty, this guy cannot move because he's currently restrained. So his turn will end and he'll try to get out of it. And he does. That one has since been slain. Alrighty, this guy is not feeling it, so he's making his way out of here.
Oh.
Alright, we are up to the top of the next round with Glory.
All right, I'm going to attack this one I'm flanking with Grim.
Okay. That'll certainly hit.
Nice.
Some big math there.
Alright, yes, that is going to be enough to slay him outright as your halberd chops him in half.
And then I'd like to try to cleave into that one.
Okay.
He's restrained too.
Yes, 17 will hit.
Oh, ignore that one. It should only be the strength score.
That is good enough. As he restrains against those vines, you are able to kill him.
Okay. Second attack on this one.
Oh, that is actually going to miss. Alrighty, this one's turn. He is going to attack Caliban on the flank there. First will miss. Second one will critically hit even through the arcane shield. So that first miss is going to graze you for 2 Caliban, and then here comes a piercing crit. Alright, true critical. Alright, unfortunately that is not working, so let me go ahead and post this. Alright, so that is going to be a 5-point damage critical hit on the dagger. Okay, next up is Grim.
How it's going to be?
Yeah, just a little further, guys.
All right, get your opportunity attacks ready, Adam. I'm gonna move there. There's one.
Alright, you'll take 1 opportunity attack. That'll miss.
5, 10.
1 more from that one. This will be at disadvantage. That'll miss.
And 50.
Alright, last one, disadvantage. Also miss.
20, 25 to here. I see an opening. Here it comes.
That'll hit.
Nice. I don't know what you hit, but whatever it is, good job, man.
Oh, wait, no, hold up. I meant to hit... no, wait, hold up. I meant to hit the crit. How do I do my crit's gone? Oh,
You hit crit.
I did.
Alright, so we're going to take what you rolled there, because that's exactly what it should be. And next attack against creature has advantage.
Okay, second attack.
24 will hit.
You needed that advantage. That worked out well.
Sure did. Alright, and that will bash the hag to death.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me check something in the wording here, Adam, for this guy. Hold on. Here, I'm going to see if I send it. Here you go. Wait, not that. There's one where it says. Here it is. Yep. Immediately after you score a critical hit. Okay, so a second attack canceled that. Okay, so I just moved and used my action. I'm going to bonus action Adrenaline Rush. So I have 2 more uses of that. So I can dash as a bonus action, and I get some temp HP. But I'm going to move up to this hag. 5, 10, 15, 20. Then I'm going to action surge and try this all again. Click everything off. Adrenaline Rush is done. Action surge is done. Okay, here it comes.
First attack misses. Second attack does manage to connect.
And I've already used my Savage Attacker, so this is straight up.
Okay, the Morningstar bashes into her side, poking and piercing her.
And I need a strength saving throw of DC 16. The basher, try to shield basher down to the ground.
You do indeed.
Excellent. And she's sapped. And we're done.
All right, next up is one of the little guys. Okay, and let's see where he's standing at the moment. He's going to do this. And he's going to attack Glory on the flank. First attack is at disadvantage. So that 15 is going to just miss Glory. You'll take 1 point of graze damage there, Glory. Second attack straight up. 23 is going to hit. That'll be 2 points piercing damage. All right, next up is Barnaby.
All right, I'm going to strike the guy who's south of me first. He's restrained, so I should have advantage on that.
Yes, that'll certainly connect.
I'll take the 25.
That is going to slay the little restrained creature.
All right, and I'm going to go with the guy in the middle here since he's restrained as well. I'm going to go ahead and attack him.
26 will hit. That will slay him as well, piercing right through him.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and just move here so I can have better visual on everything else. That'll end my turn.
All right, Archgale.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna run, I think. Let's see. Yeah. You know what? He'll disengage.
Okay.
Get to here. As a bonus action, he will do Healing Word on Grim.
Okay.
Oh.
Just first level, but
Not that much love. Take it. Thank you.
All right, plus that extra 3, so a total of 12.
yep. And I believe he gets some back as well from that because he healed someone other than himself.
That sounds right.
So he'll get 3 back as well. And that's the end of his turn.
Okay, next up is our grace points.
right, so we're gonna do the same thing. It'll be 6 creatures that get harried and to 2 points into the throw, and I'll let Noah pick all of them because I think you get the best vantage point.
Okay,
There's
pick
just
3
six
creatures.
left.
Yeah, I don't know how many creatures are so yeah, it's 6 for the harried, which is the disadvantage on the first attack, and then just a single point, and then the 9 squares kind of around it that will take damage.
Okay. There's no real great place, so I'll say the point around it will be right here.
For the damage, okay, so that'll be on those
Yeah.
2. Let's go ahead and throw those damage saves. Okay, those will both succeed, so they'll take half damage. Go ahead and post 3d6.
Oh, do you want me to do it?
Yes, please. All right, so those javelins come in from the Huldra. That is going to wound the top one and manage to kill the other one. All right, and then 6 creatures selected to give disadvantage on their first attack.
All right, so all those ones.
All righty, sounds good. Here comes saving throws for that. All right, the second from the last one is not affected. And then the hag is affected. All right, that was our grace points. And I'm going to go ahead and skip us over to the next opponent. All right, he's going to make his way over to here and attack Grim. Both of those attacks will not connect. That one has since been slain. Runok is dead. Alrighty, this guy gonna make his way down here, stepping on poor Runok's face, and he's going to attack Archgale. The dagger will manage to connect an Archgale. That's going to deal 4 points of damage, and then he's going to use his special cleave ability to attack Caliban. 16 is going to miss. All right, Caliban.
All right. Oh, I see. He's sort of below. I'm going to use another of my second wins again. For 11 back. I'll give me with 1 more of those. But I am going to use that ability to do 5, 10, 15. Actually, shoot. Sorry. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I shouldn't leave Archgale completely alone there. Grim's got this. I will then attack the one that just attacked me. He's sort of, sorry, I thought he was crossed out there, but he's sort of, the Runok cross has come up. He's between Runok and the cross, I think, so.
He is indeed, yes.
I will attack the one that just attacked me.
Sure thing. That is going to miss.
Can't miss twice. Oh my god. Unless you roll the
Yes,
exact
you
same thing.
can.
Well, shoot. Yeah, I think that is all I can do. I will, I guess, and I'll use up the rest of my motion to flank him anyway, so that if Archgale does hit him, we have that covered. And I'll end my turn.
All right, that one has since been slain. And so has that one. So is that one. Okie doke. This one's turn. He is going to move to here and attack Barnaby. But he will not manage to connect on either of those. That one has since been slain. Alrighty, this one's turn. He is currently restrained, so his turn will end. He's going to take a saving throw. 16, he is no longer restrained. Alright, Laud.
How tall is this rock? Like, if I were to run up to this smaller rock, could I get to the top of this one? For line of sight?
I would say it's probably 15 feet up, so it's still going to require an athletics check.
Okay, then I will not do that, but I will run through here anyway. So 5, 10, 15. I guess I'll go that way.
All right.
20.
Step away from that one. He is going to attack you.
Yep.
This is at disadvantage. That 9 will miss, but you'll take 2 points of graze damage.
I'll go against my temp HP, and I have 10 more feet. 10, and then I think I'm in range. I am. So I will then cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter at the hag.
Okay, this looks to have taken effect.
And then bonus action, I am going to give Bardic Inspiration to Grim. Kill her! And that'll be my turn.
Alrighty, this one's turn. He is going to... yeah, he is going to make his way over here and step to here. And he is going to attack Laud. At 12, I believe is going to miss.
Does Glory get a opportunity attack?
He's still within range, I think.
Okay.
Oh, no, he's not. Can I give him opportunity?
I'm going to say you missed your opportunity on this one, but you can if it happens again.
Okay.
Let's see, this one here, fail, blah, blah, blah. At the end of each of the turns and each time it takes damage, makes a new save. Okay, so the hag's going to lose her turn, and then here comes another save. All right, she is still under the effects of the spell. This one has since been slain. Okie dokie, this one's turn is going to move. Putting Barnaby in the flank and attacking him. 8 will miss. 11 will miss. This guy continues fleeing and is effectively out of the battle. We move to the top of the next round. Glory.
All right, on this one, I'm going to attack.
Okay. That is going to miss.
Polar and strike.
Now remind me, did we determine you have to make both of your attacks before you get the pole strike, or can you do the pole strike in between attacks?
I don't know if we decided that.
Post the wording of that one for me one more time. I know you can't do it independently, but I just want to see how it's worded.
Oh, it's the wrong thing. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, so this is saying immediately after you take the attack action. So I'm assuming that means once the attack action is completed. So I don't think you can intersperse a pole strike in between your attacks from your attack action.
Okay, well then, second attack that creature.
Yep, so we'll take that 17 you rolled. I know it was for the hand axe, but that is certainly going to hit. Go ahead and just post damage for your pulse, for your halberd. Yep, all right, that is definitely going to slay that guy.
I will move here and pull strike that guy.
Okay. He is going to dodge that. All right, that one has since been slain. We move to Grim.
Okay, Adam. While she's knocked down from my shield and laughing uncontrollably, I'd like to jump to the other side of her as my movement.
Okay, yeah, I would say you don't have to really jump. You can basically just walk through her since she's prone. All right,
Okay,
the
I move
little
there.
guy is going to attack you as you step out of his reach. He is going to miss.
All right, now I'm going to attack her from here.
That will hit. All right, your first attack will wound her.
And second attack.
That is going to miss, even at advantage.
Okay.
You have Bardic Inspiration die.
Oh, yeah,
Does that
let me
matter?
burn that. Let me burn that. Is it a D8?
Yes.
Okay, that will hit.
And I believe that Tasha should have ended because she makes that save at advantage after taking damage.
Oh, is it an advantage? Okay, appreciate that. Okay, that will wound
I'm
her.
pretty sure.
And she, regardless, she rolled a 20 on the next one, so she is not affected any longer on that.
Okay.
All right, we're down to this guy's turn. Yeah, he's going to come over here and attack Barnaby. Both of those attacks will miss Barnaby. You're going to take 4 points of graze damage. And then it is your turn.
All right. Barnaby's going to do something that nobody has seen yet before, which maybe nobody's even looking at him, but he is going to disappear and look like he's going to get wrapped up by some vines, and he's going to move.
Where's Barnaby been this whole time?
I don't know. He's just missing his attacks.
Boom. So I'll go ahead and that's Misty Step for him.
Okay.
So he went ahead and did that. Then he's going to go ahead and move here, and he's going to strike out at her.
Okay.
I pushed it. There you go. Well, it went twice, but...
I assume you're attacking twice. Those are advantage. Both hit.
Well, yeah, I wanted to see what the first one did. There was a delay on the first one, so...
No worries. She is still alive.
All right, then I would have struck her with the second one. I would have hit the aim for the guy up north if she died. So...
You pierce into her with your blade twice, and she is still alive.
All right, since I already used a bonus action, I can't smite her.
Okay, Archgale.
All right. Can Archigale touch Runak?
Yes.
All right. He's going to do Revivify.
All right, make sure to remove that diamond, and Runak has a whisper of life ushered back into his undead body, and he probably shudders a bit and sees a little Furby standing over his head. He's in a precarious situation, but he is alive.
What happened? The darkness.
Wait, he's alive. Heal him.
Yeah, do I? Oh, I guess I used my action for this, so I don't really have any healing to give him.
Bonus
But
action healing word, right?
yeah, but you cast a spell,
Yeah, yeah, right.
cast Revivify. So,
Does he have one of the potions of healing on him? There were several. I don't know if he has one on his, because you can do that. You can feed it to somebody as a bonus action in this rule set.
doesn't look like it. And I don't think the robes do anything. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's it for his turn. But Runak is alive. So,
Okay, next up we have the grace points.
all right.
Okay, it didn't. So, I don't know. The best vantage point still seems like it's you, so I'll give you the same thing. So, the 6 for the harrow, 6 creatures for harrow, and then just an area for the damage.
Isn't one of them pull out a down character, or do we lose access?
Oh
to it?
yeah, it is. You are right. So let me find that sheet. I haven't been using that. So, we'll make it 4 for. I think. My roll 20 just like dropped.
Yeah, but I think you have to be at 0, right?
You might be correct. Let me see.
That is correct.
Oh shoot.
Yep. So now that they're healed, we can't do that. So it'd be the same ones. Sorry, it's not Harrow, it's Harry. So 6 creatures for Harry, and then an area for damage.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, it's indiscriminate, right? It hurts our allies as well. The damage.
The
thing.
damage does, yes.
All right, so I'm not going to do that there. So instead, it'll be right here.
For the Harry? Or I'm sorry, for the damage?
The damage one, yeah.
Damage,
I don't
alright.
know if you're down there, Laud. Sorry, but
No, I'm not. I'm next to you.
All right, they will all fail that.
oh yeah,
3d6,
shoot, yeah,
please.
you're right there.
All right, the
All right.
javelins come flying in, striking into the Frogashar, wounding all 3 of them.
Good job, guys. All right, and then the disadvantage is going to be this one, this guy that's alive above Runok, this one, and this one.
All right, here comes some saves. All right, all of the Frogashar are affected. The hag is not. Okay, next up is this one's turn. He's going to attack Barnaby. First attack's at disadvantage. That is going to miss. That attack is also going to miss. All right, the now living Runok.
Oh God. First thing he's gonna do is second wind. Okay, we got 6 back. And then can he climb out of this space with the guy above him?
He'll have to crawl, so basically count that as 10 feet and move to a space.
Okay, that's what he'll do. He'll crawl to here. Stand up. Oh, I can't add hit points to him. Hold on one second. Okay, and then he's going to swing at the one that was above him.
Okay. The attack will miss.
Okay, and gets one more.
That'll connect. That is going to significantly wound the creature.
All right, but that's the end of his turn. Thank you.
Comes
I
up
saw that-
swinging. That's
saw-
I thought you
that's right.
disengaged for sure.
No, I need to live, and for me to live, these need to die. I saw what awaits me. I don't want to go there.
Alrighty, this one's turn. Yeah, let's see. You are the most wounded, Runok, and he's going to return the attacks on you. First attack at disadvantage. That 9 will miss. 8 will miss. Okay, Caliban.
I can't miss 3 in a row, can I?
Let's find
I
out.
guess,
Stop saying.
I guess if I keep rolling 9s, it'll
That
Oh,
will
It
miss.
keeps.
so much better. So much better.
Yeah, you're getting better. Keep it up.
Yeah, yeah.
A true hero can't do it again.
Oh
God
my
damn.
goodness.
That's 4 in a row
At least you're consistent.
Give me back my dice.
with +7s.
I think that was 2 2s and 2 3s.
3s. Oh my god,
Oh man, that's rough.
that is brutal. Yeah.
Are you getting paid by the other team?
Oh my god, I will go hang my horns in shame and end my turn.
All right, next up is this guy. He's going to make his way forward. Take that flank position on Laud and attack. Those 2 attacks are going to miss. Make his way over here. Take a couple attacks on Laud. First attack at disadvantage. And the second attack will hit.
Yeah, my AC is 14, so it'll hit.
All right, that's going to stab into you for 6 points of damage.
I'm not actually. I guess I'm not concentrating anymore because she's past the save.
Yes, that is correct. And then Laud, it is your turn.
Okay. I will step here and I'll take that opportunity attack.
All right. That is going to miss.
Bottoms up. I will
Ugh.
use a greater potion of healing on Runok. 17 points of damage as a bonus action.
70 points of damage. No, I'm dead.
Sorry, I don't heal very often. I'm not used to it.
You gotta put
Grab
the
the
potion in my
poison by
mouth, not into my open wounds.
He just broke the bottle right in your face.
Just smashing on him. Alright. And it's, that's not enough. And then I will cast Cure Wounds at the 2nd level on Runok as well.
Okay.
For 31.
Dang.
Get back
Um,
here.
By the way, I assume I take 1 point of exhaustion at least, Adam, from this whole situation.
Yeah. Did you only drop once? Coming back to life doesn't get you exhaustion, but when you drop to the ground, you definitely took 1. I don't know if you yo-yoed. I'm assuming you were tracking it.
Oh yeah, I didn't yo-yo. I just went down once and then they killed me.
All right, then just 1 level. Yep.
And that will be my turn.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, this one's turn. Going to attack Archgale with the flank. First attack at disadvantage. Second attack is a critical hit. Maximum damage plus normal. Alright, the absolute max would have been another 4 on top of that, so it's going to be 8 points of damage to Archgale. And that's going to cause Archgale to fall prone. All right, next her turn. She's going to get 2 recharge attempts because we didn't roll the previous one. And she does indeed recharge. All right, she's going to stand up. All right, how much of a gambler is she? She is a gambler. She's going to step here. Grim, would you like to take an opportunity attack?
Do it.
That will
Nice.
hit.
Okay, so I can't do Savage Attack or Gangs. I used it during my turn, so I can't do it. Can I do it in opportunity?
I don't know. I'd have to see how it's written.
I mean, just spend a second and I'll drag it here. Savage Attacker.
Once per turn. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would
not
say,
round.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say
not
you could use
round.
it. And that is going
Yes.
to slay her before she gets a chance to hit all 4 of you.
She gambled wrong.
All right, she is slain. Move to the next one. This little guy. He's going to make his way up to here.
I'd like to use reactive strike.
Okay. That is going to miss. All right, first attack is going to be at disadvantage. So that will be a 15. That's going to miss Grim. Second attack straight up. That one's going to connect. That is going to deal 4 points of damage to, or I'm sorry, 2 points of damage to our Raging Barbarian. All right, top of the next round, Glory.
All right, I will attack this one right here.
Sure. That is going to connect. Yes, that is be enough to slay the creature.
Second attack there.
Go for the trifecta. Never mind.
That is going to miss.
And full arm strike on that one.
Okay. That will connect. That is exact, or actually no, that's more than he had left. He is slain. All right, doing a quick check on our battlefield here. We've only got 5 Furbies left that are all badly wounded. Guys, I'm going to say you have won this battle. You quickly clear up the remaining creatures, none of which can do any kind of significant damage to you. We are out of combat.
We did it! Woo!
Nice,
Yay.
good job.
Woohoo! Glad to have you back, buddy.
You see, there's a haunted, more haunted than usual look in Runok's eyes. It's good to be here.
What was it like being dead?
Again.
There were tentacles everywhere. In the dark, grabbing at me.
Well, that doesn't sound very fun. I don't want to do that.
All right, as you guys are chatting amongst yourselves about the results of this battle, you'll notice the Haldra approaching more in the middle of the battle here, and they are going to go ahead and cut the heads off of the 3 hags.
Good idea.
Coming back?
Anybody going to search the hags? I mean, maybe they have spell components or something.
There might be stuff just in this area, too. They could have good stuff.
Yes, would somebody like to search the area?
Yeah, Caliban. Let's search. Is this like a tent that they're?
It is, yeah, indeed, yep. So as you search the tents, you find various supplies. That's going to be 100 feet of rope and 2 50-foot coils, 10 days of rations, and 5 flasks of oil. As you're searching the various combatants here, you're going to find that they have a total of 14 copper pieces, 242 silver pieces, 40 gold pieces, 3 platinum pieces, 2 blue jaspers, a scrimshaw sperm whale tooth, and you find 2 potions. And of course, I'll put all that in chat.
And while they are doing the searching at them, I'll go ahead and cast Detect Magic ritually.
Okay.
Would we be able to identify those potions at a glance, or is that something that would take a little longer?
One of them, yes, you can tell it's a potion of healing. The other one, you're not quite sure.
Okay.
put everything in the bag of holding. Yeah, Carl?
Yeah, I'll do it when it gets posted.
I'm sorry for using up the diamond, everyone.
Oh, it's okay. I've found that on the way.
We're just glad you're kind of living again.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to figure out a way to get another one, though.
Probably buy one if we make our way to a city.
Wouldn't that have been kicker if Adam had brought him back alive live?
Actually, I had to double check the spell because it says it doesn't do that, and the race. The only way that works is like I think true resurrection. So yeah, it's a ways out.
Yeah.
Well, I hear we're leveling quickly, so who knows?
That's only like 7 levels away. So yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's start farming XP.
Alrighty, guys. So after you spent some time searching this area, a lot of dead opponents. The Huldra are overjoyed that this cult of Ragnarok has been put to the sword or the spear or the spell, depending on how you took them down. They are very grateful and they cheer you on. They are sort of doing clapping your backs and talking excitedly once again, sharing stories of the battle. You hear them talking about throwing their javelins in places and how they were sort of shouting to interrupt the creatures, and essentially describing what you guys use your grace points on. Technically, having won this battle, you win another grace point, but you guys are already at max, so no real effect there. But had you been short of grace points, this would put you another grace point. And they are ready to make their way back to Haldromos and, of course, escort you guys back on the skiff unless you guys have any reason for wanting to hang out here.
I think we're ready to get back.
Alrighty, so with that in mind, I'm going to fast forward us a little bit. So you guys are going to make your way back over land on the skiff. And just giving us an idea of where we're at the moment. Again, we are represented by the dragon, silver dragon icon there on the map. So you guys essentially leave this hill and you're going to spend about a day making your way back to Haldromos, a little bit over a day perhaps. Of course, you guys would have got a long rest in this time. Feel free to apply that. Once you return back to Haldromos, you're given a little bit of time, let's say another day here in the city, in order to rest and relax and so forth. And then the queen will summon you forth. However, for having completed this most recent milestone, defeating all of the cultists at the cultist camp, this is going to get you guys to level 7. So in the interest of making sure you have plenty of time to apply your level up and all of that, let's go ahead and take an early break tonight. We're going to go ahead and break now for 15 minutes. Use that time if you can to level your characters up. If you need more time when we come back from the break, that's okay as well. But I think most of you guys probably know what you want, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and pause here, guys, for the 15-minute break, and let's see how close we are to the full level up when we get back on the other side.
Sounds good. Thanks, Adam.
Hey, Adam, can I bend your ear for a second?
Sure. Does it need to be in the recording or no?
Yeah. No, out of the recording, please.
All right, pausing us here. Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of the session, a little bit more than a half on this time. So our players have currently leveled up to 7. Congrats, PCs. And we're going to pick back up as you guys have arrived back in Haldromos. All right, as previously described, once you arrived in Haldromos, you guys had about a day to sort of relax, get your bearings, that sort of thing, before Queen Thurgood has summoned you once again. All right, so you guys make your way over to the long hall, and you notice that the queen is there, as well as some of the Huldra, and they're all kind of speaking, chatter, that kind of thing. As you arrive, they pretty quickly bring you up to speed. The queen is going to explain to you that she has discovered the location of where the Midnight Temple is. So with this in mind, let me see if there's any specific information she's going to give you. Yeah, so she doesn't have another speech prepared, but what she will tell you, I'm going to move you guys over to the overland map just real quick. So the Midnight Temple itself is in, she's going to let you know that it is in the ruins of Nordheim. The ruins of Nordheim, you're going to find far to the northwest of your map, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal this tooltip. So that is the ruins of Nordheim you're going to find there. And as you can see, it is about 200 miles northwest of where you currently are. You can see that there is some maps kind of laid out on the area of the longhouse that you guys are currently in. The queen is explaining that a journey there would be very difficult because it goes through a lot of very difficult terrain. In fact, you hear some of the Haldra say something about liches, and that kind of perks in your mind, as some of you have probably heard that term before. And you can hear them kind of all chattering amongst themselves, and then eventually the queen kind of calms and quiets them all down, and she looks to you and she says, "Okay, we've discovered what we can. The Midnight Temple is in the ruins of Nordheim. It is quite a journey to the northwest, but thanks to your great efforts, we should be able to help you, or we hope to be able to help you at least a little bit, and the journey there to speed it up, get you there a little bit quicker than it would take you to actually march all of that way. There is going to be a bit of a ceremony here, and our priests, the Shield Sisters here of the Haldra, are going to attempt to summon the Valkyries and beseech them for aid on your behalf. Do you have any questions before the ceremony?"
Oh, that's really nice. What kind do they like give us magic or something?
We hope that they will be willing to carry you on wing over closer to the Midnight Temple, take you to its doorstep if possible.
Oh, what a relief. That's awesome. Anything I can do to help?
I would ask that you all be silent unless you're asked specifically. The Valkyries are godlike beings. They are servants of Odin, and they are in his service. They are very prestigious, great warriors that have earned their place after lifelong service and great battles, skills, and accomplishments. Please don't do anything that could offend them or anger them in any way. And by doing so, we will increase our chances of trying to make sure that they do indeed provide you aid.
Got it.
We do what we can, and we appreciate the help. Calbancer puts a hand on Grim's shoulder. Don't we, big guy?
All right, with no other specific questions arising, you'll notice the queen steps back as in the longhouse. It's kind of spread around. There's a little bit of a procession out to one of these sort of like docks that is out front of the longhouse. In fact, I'll go ahead and bring us back over to the Haldromos map. All right, so while here and you're on one of these sort of, wooden platforms out by the longhouse, you notice that some of the priests here among the Haldra, the priests stand amid a circle of burning braziers. They throw handfuls of pungent herbs onto the braziers, and curling spires of scented smoke whirl skyward to become lost in the gray overcast. The priests pace the circle, chanting as they do. Each bears a wooden bowl of blood freely given by the Haldra. They dip bundles of rushes into the blood and shake the rushes so that crimson droplets scatter on the grass to either side of the platform, before and behind as they continue to trod the circle. A low rumble of thunder punctuates their chant, and dark shapes wing their way from the clouds above. A quartet of great winged white wolves plummet silent as hunting owls, their wings outstretched suddenly to break their dives, and they alight gracefully, surrounding the circle, nostrils flaring at the smell of the fresh blood. Fierce warrior women dismount from the great winged lupines and gaze solemnly at the assembly. The priests and the Haldra beseech the Valkyries for aid, explaining the dark portents and the sinister intent behind the blood wedding. The Valkyries appear unmoved. They frown, and one among them asks, "What is it you wish of us? Our place is not to meddle in the quarrels of the living, only to pick the chosen from the aftermath." One of the Haldra then replies, "Ferry these worthy warriors to their next battle, noble Valkyrie." A weathered trollkin woman, that is, They must arrive by the new moon for a chance to grasp victory. Lend them your swiftness, nothing more. The Valkyrie in lead then responds, and where would we take them should we say yes? The Midnight Temple in Nordheim, answers the priest. At this answer, there is silence as the Valkyries exchange glances. Eventually, their leader responds. We cannot do this, she says. It is forbidden. And you notice the priests now nervously looking amongst themselves and looking towards you.
Why is it forbidden? What's wrong with that place?
Odin himself has forbidden this, and I am not so foolish as to disobey the All-Father.
Could you get us close?
We could take you no further than the river that borders the forest, marking the north end of Wolfheim lands. Beyond those woods lie the entrances to Nordheim.
Do we have a map we could pull out and see if that's going to get us there in time? I mean, it's if the best they can do, it's going to help, right?
So yes, as you're looking at the map, you will notice that they kind of point with their fingers over in this direction, letting you know that that river is as far as they will be willing to take you. So you can think of them, they're basically saying they're going to drop you about here to make the narrowest part to cross the river so you can make the trek up towards the ruins.
Got it. Well, any help is appreciative. Is there anything you can do? You know, grant us aid in other ways? Buffs? Prayers? Anything like that? Items?
You notice as you say this, one of the priests says, they would be most grateful if you can simply get him there. That is all we ask. And you see she turns and looks at you.
Oops.
We are most grateful for your service.
You notice the Valkyrie looks towards you, Runak, and she says, we don't do this for you. We do it for the Huldra, shield maidens and shield sisters. We will do it because they vouch for your valor. Do not ask for more. All right, if there's no other questions, you will notice the Valkyries mount those winged wolves who silently leap into the air and keep ascending until they become simply specks in your vision, and they are gone.
I thought they were going to take us.
You will notice the priest looks towards you and she says, they shall come at the dawn. That is their way. You have the rest of this day to prepare, but be ready as soon as the sun rises on the morrow.
Yes,
That's good.
we will. We on the previous battle we had to use our diamond that can help bring people back from the dead. Is there somewhere we could replace that, or perhaps get multiple?
You notice the priests kind of look over towards the other Huldra and they kind of start chatting amongst themselves, and one of the Huldra says, diamonds are not something we typically have in stock here. We have no use for them.
Dang.
Thought maybe there's the off chance. We can certainly pay for it. We're okay on gold, but that diamond would be very valuable for our ability to recover a fallen comrade. And it's almost certain one will fall.
You notice they sort of nod amongst themselves. Yes, once a shield sister falls, we let them stay fallen. It is not our way to try to pull them back from oblivion to this life.
I understand that, and it's noble. However, our mission must not fail. We need every member of our party to be there to succeed. And this one had fallen once already, and so we sort of brought him back to his current state.
Yeah.
What ended up happening with the sword and the shield from Ringrid Iron Eyes? Did we give that back to them, or do we still have that on us?
Nope, you gave it back,
No,
and they did the whole ceremony explaining that those were sort of allowed for her sister Halfreed to hold on to them and then place them in like basically a place of honor until they are awarded to a new member of the Huldra.
I would ask, perhaps we could honor Rangrid by bearing her arms in battle. It would help us to defeat, what we're coming up against.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check here, Laud.
Okay. And if it's relatively low, I'm going to use my inspiration on this.
All right.
24 is fine.
Not relatively low, no. As you ask this question, you notice Queen Thorgerd moves about, listening to kind of the chatter amongst the Huldra, and she says, "Never before have we granted the arms of one of the Huldra to an outsider, though your mission is indeed grave. I cannot give these to you, but I would be willing to allow you to use them until your mission is complete in the Midnight Temple, assuming you will give your word that you will bring them back here once you are done."
We will do everything in our power to return them.
You see she looks amongst the other Huldra, and you can see some of them have this sort of like looks of consternation on their face, and you see she kind of takes a moment to listen to them all, and then she says, "As the only queen in residence at the moment, I will agree to these terms."
Thank you.
Wow, that was smart.
All right, and it's probably about 20 minutes later before Halfreed returns with the sword and the shield of her sister, and you see she looks at you very kind of judgingly, you might say, as though she's trying to judge if you're worthy of this or not, and then looks to ask which of you will bear her sister's arms in battle.
I would think the shield would probably go to Grim and the sword to Caliban, right?
Well, I can I'll take the shield and sword, and I'll give my shield of my shield to Caliban.
And he's had his eye on that shield since he worked with the dwarves very closely that gifted that to Grim.
Halfreed seems to be pleased that one person will bear both the sword and shield as you discuss these plans, and she will hand them to you, Grim.
It'll be my honor, and you have my word. I will do everything within my power to get these back to the shield maidens of Holdgermoose.
You see she nods, and then she grabs onto your forearm and looks at you intently and says, "If you should fall, make sure you take many down with you. Don't fall like a wuss."
And he'll just, with his teeth, and kind of get that warrior growl right back at her.
She clasps you and then continues on her way. All right, guys, anything you're wanting to try to accomplish on the rest of this day? You probably have about 7-8 hours of time that you have essentially to burn before going to sleep, waking up in the morning, where presumably the Valkyries will return to escort you. Anything you're trying to accomplish before that time?
So just a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm going to give Caliban the shield of Gristle. And you already have a +1 sword, Caliban. So now you have a +1 shield, +1 sword. And I'm taking the Huldgermoose, which is a +1 shield, +1 sword.
Yep, longsword +1 and shield +1.
Copy that. Actually, you have a rider effect on your shield. Let me make sure you look it up in the thing. There's some rider effect that comes with the shield of Gristle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have the description for that, or?
I feel like we gave it to you. Yeah, it's under Magic Items, Appendix B, Black Shield of Gristle.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
So they don't have diamonds. Would there be like magic items of anything, or like potions here? Like, I would think, stuff that might help us kind of sneak through the land undetected as much as possible. I'm thinking like potions of invisibility or like pass without trace, kind of a spell scroll, something like that.
They don't have much in the way of magic here in Huldgermoose, as They're predominantly focused on personal strength and skill, and using things like scrolls or potions they kind of look at as being a bit beneath them. Go ahead and throw me a persuasion check as you chat around. See if you can just, scrounge up anything.
Okay, and then I'll ask for that, and then if they don't have that, I'll look for like a crossbow +1 kind of a thing, like crossbow +1.
Okay, so with that check, again, this is a pretty small location, so it's not going to have much. Are you looking primarily for scrolls or sort of potions?
Probably. I think the main thing would be like pass without trace scroll. If not, it would be like potions.
I'm just going to ask you to pick one of the other based on your check, and you're going to get a selection essentially of scrolls that you might be able to get, or a selection of potions.
Let's do scrolls.
Okay, so based on what you're able to kind of chat with them, and the Huldra will essentially explain to you that, again, they don't use much in the way of these kind of things that you're asking about, but that travelers have come and occasionally they will like pawn these off on the Huldra or ask to trade them for training or for other purposes, fallen allies that they've collected things from. So they have a small collection of 5 scrolls. The spells on these scrolls are Hex, Mage Armor, Mending, Speak with Animals, or Thunderwave.
Thunderwave could be useful.
All right, they don't seem like they really have a concept for the value of the scroll. They kind of rate it as like a piece of paper, so they're happy to sell it to you for a silver piece.
Okay. If they're willing to sell them all, I'd buy all of them at that price. But if it's just the one, then yeah, I'll take Thunderwave for 1 silver.
If you start to seem like really excited, like, wow, that cheap, then they kind of get a little bit wiser. But yeah, if you just want the 1 silver piece. If you want the others, I'll ask for another persuasion check to see what kind of rate you can get.
Sure. Let's do another persuasion.
Yeah, if you are wanting to get all of them, they will give you all of them for 10 gold pieces.
I'll do it.
All right, so that was Scroll of Hex, Mage Armor, Mending, Speak with Animals, and Thunderwave.
Is it possible to search to see if we can sell the Scrimshaw sperm whale tooth? That sort of stuff?
Sure. I will say that based on what you know of this area, you're sure you're not going to get like the true value of it. There's not really like merchants here in Haldremos that have, like prices of top of mind. I'm sure you could get something for it, but you're probably not going to get what it's truly worth. Is that something you still want to pursue?
I would say no then in that case.
Okay. All right, team, if there's nothing else you guys want to accomplish on this day, then let's go ahead and fast forward. So you guys spend the rest of the day here relaxing, being guests there in the barracks, maybe chatting with some of the Huldra, but primarily just getting yourself prepared, getting it into your mind what you're about to go through, knowing that this is going to be very, very dangerous. The sort of seriousness of this really settles on your hearts and your minds. And even amongst yourselves, you might find each other looking a bit concerned and having a little bit of worry about how the results of this are going to go, what you're about to face. If these godlike Valkyries are not even willing to go to this location, what might you be about to get into? All of these thoughts are in your head as you have a bit of a fitful sleep. You do eventually fall asleep, however, waking up in the morning, and much to their word, the Valkyries are there as the sun rises, awaiting your return. And there are enough winged wolves there to take all of you, along with the Huldra, 5 of them, Half-Reed and some of her sisters. They're going to go with you in this endeavor. Alrighty, so as you guys mount these winged wolves, you see they carry you with little effort whatsoever, leaping into the air. It must clearly be some type of magic this is working. The wings obviously allow them to fly, but you don't even feel as though it's much effort it takes them to fly. It's not as though they're having to vigorously beat their wings. It seems soft even, as the wings just kind of lift and fall with little effort, but pull themselves and their passengers into the sky quickly. You are starting to sail to the west, flying over the land, the marshes at a pretty rapid pace. This journey is going to take some time, even at flying speed. Obviously, much faster than it would have been had you had to walk this distance. But this is going to take about 5 days to get to the location you want to get to. So you can think of how these days go by you're being carried for like a solid 8 hours or so of flight. At which point you're starting to get tired. The Valkyries descend, leave you in a location, and ascend into the sky once again, letting you know they'll be back at dawn to resume the travel. And sure to their word, they come back the next morning after you guys have done a little bit of camping, resting, that sort of thing. You have a little bit of time to chat with the Huldra during this time. Are any of you wanting to attempt to speak to the Valkyries to try to get any information out of that?
I feel like Caliban would try to speak to them, maybe more around just asking about their. How did you become a Valkyrie, and what does it entail?
Give me a persuasion check, Caliban.
Oh, he's terrible at this, but this will be good. Oh, no.
You notice the Valkyrie doesn't even respond to your request. She doesn't even look towards you as you ask this question. She just continues flying, facing forward.
I'd like to ask a different one of the Valkyries, since he pissed that one off. I would like to ask, basically, if they have flown over this area and know what we may expect once we get closer towards those ruins.
Sure. Persuasion check there, Barnaby. All right, we'll take that roll. Go ahead and set yourself back to public, but that is a success. All right, so what you are able to learn from the Valkyrie by more of a silver tongue asking this question, she will let you know that Nordheim was the greatest of the Dwarven Reaver kingdoms. It was also the first to fall. The cause of the Hold's destruction is a mystery. It was not taken by force, nor did it fall to any enemy siege. Some say a darkness came up out of the earth and swallowed them all. Its loss is still a source of shame for many a living dwarf. One theory is that the Hold was destroyed by Thor's decree. The bloody fervor with which the dwarves of Nordheim pursued slaughter reached a degree that even the warlike thunder god was repulsed, and he took vengeance upon them. Several years ago, it was discovered that the nearby forest is teeming with walking dwarven corpses, as if the entire Hold's population has become a creeping horde of restless undead. The range of the undead coincides with the underground borders of Nordheim, which stop at the river. This is also the boundary that the Valkyries have told you they are forbidden to cross. It is said that those who discovered the undead dwarves also found a dwarven temple. Someone had dug down far enough to find and uncover it for whatever reason. Alrighty, guys, that's what you're able to learn during that time. The rest of this time, honestly, is pretty boring. It's, flying, settling down for the night, getting picked up again, flying, settling down, picked up, and go on. And this goes on for 4 solid nights, and you find yourself approximately at this location after 4 days of travel. The Valkyries let you know that the next morning that they arrive, it won't even be a full day's travel. They'll probably be able to get you there in just a few hours. They ascend into the skies on their winged wolves once again and leave you guys to your encampment.
And I of course thank you very much, and it was a pleasure riding with you. What a wonderful beast friend you have.
They don't seem to respond to your request or show any kind of sign of any emotion to that statement, simply ascending into the air.
Farewell on your travels.
All right, so you guys have this night to rest. And again, as the Valkyrie said, they will be back in the morning. And when they arrive, they will be taking you the last little leg of the journey to the river, and then you'll be on your own. So as you guys are getting ready to set up your camp, you set out some tents and stuff like that. I'm going to move you over to a different map just to sort of show what your efforts here are. Setting up your camp. I know, for example, we've got a tiny hut that might be springing into action. We've got that aura now on Barnaby, so you guys can check that out. Anything particular you're doing as you make your camp this time? Again, the last 4 nights of camping have been uneventful.
Any weather issues that would prevent me from sleeping outdoors?
Nope, it's a little bit chilly, but as long as you're bundled up, you'll be okay.
That's why I like to sleep outside, not next to you guys all cuddled up.
Hey, Adam, I'm
Sleeping in
guessing
my
that's
hut.
more like a light. Is that like a light source or something that you're using?
That there is representing Laud's tiny hut, so depending on where he would like to put it.
No, I mean around Barnaby. I'm just wondering about the coloring of it, if it should be a different color, if that may look like somebody's light later on or something.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's representing the aura of protection. So if you would like a different color, sure. What color would you like?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, just a color that maybe, because usually you use that for light.
No, I
just
care
don't-
now. Now I care.
Hot pink.
All
That's
right.
great.
Well, I mean, Brian, of course, I take his words for wisdom,
Do we
It
want,
should be color changing constantly. It's like a disco ball that floats over your head, and it just changes colors on us.
do we want hot pink or poop brown?
I vote for not poop brown.
There's
Didn't-
a variety of colors here. I'm happy to pick one. I just want to make sure it's something that doesn't like overpower the rest of the stuff on the screen.
Yeah, Adam, I have no preference. Whatever. I just want to make sure that it doesn't look like a light source or something like that is all I'm thinking. That's good for me.
Yeah, since you're forest me, right? How about something green like that? That
There you go. There you go.
Meshes a little bit with the ground right now, but of course you're not always going to be on grass.
Yep.
All right, just a reminder, you guys should be able to see if you put your cursor on Barnaby, it says +4 to saves in this aura. You should be able to see that aura. Again, it's a 10-foot aura, so if you're within 2 squares of Barnaby, you're going to be in it, and just keep that in mind.
Is that all saves?
I believe so. Barnaby, confirm that?
It is, and I'm not even going to charge you extra.
How nice.
It's pretty
This is-
hard to
this
see
is-
the aura on this grass.
This is my way to say, keep the gnomes standing, people.
Is it possible to move the tiny hut to the back? I can't select my token to move or do anything.
Yes, yeah, one moment. There, how about a pale green? Maybe that'll be a little bit easier to see.
Nice.
All right, so do we have everything where we would like it to be?
Yep.
All right, if you're going to put the tiny hut there, I'm going to move some tents just a little this way. Again, I'm just kind of estimating the number of tents and stuff you guys have. Feel free to decide where it is you would like to be if you want to be in the tiny hut. Now, again, the tiny hut, is it safe to assume you're casting this as a ritual each time, Lord?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's there's no point using the spell slot on it.
All right, fair enough. So it's about 1 minute into your casting of your ritual before I'm going to go ahead and lock the tokens. So the tiny hut isn't quite in existence yet. Some of you guys look like you're relaxing out front, getting maybe ready to kind of rest there. In the distance, you can definitely hear something, but go ahead and give me a perception check to see if you can make out what this might be.
Is this all of us?
Yes. All right, so Grim and Law, the two of you at least, you hear the sound of approaching, almost sounds similar to horses, but you can tell it's not quite horses.
We got company. And I
Sounds
start to put my shield on.
Same.
And I will stop casting the. Actually, I don't know if they're gonna do anything, so I'll continue casting the ritual, but I'm assuming I won't get this to complete.
All right, you're continuing to cast. I'm going to go ahead and remove this artificial light barrier. and you can see what you can see. So at a distance, those of you that have dark vision, you notice approaching riders. Grim, I know your dark vision's pretty far. You recognize ghouls dressed in armor on top of steeds. Surprisingly, you notice that they don't look like they're rushing to attack. In fact, they're sitting here and kind of just eyeing you from a distance.
Well, since I only could see him, I'll say, "Hey guys, it's those ghouls. I'm riding on those freaked out quadped things, but they're just looking at us. But at least put on your shield and get ready. They're this way to the south."
All right, when he says that, then I'll stop casting the spell.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and unlock the tokens.
I actually don't know if I have light on me right now, but if I don't, then I'm going to cast it. All right. Looks like I do now.
Runok, are these some of your people, perhaps?
Oh, perhaps. Runak calls out in Darakul.
What does he say?
Hello. What are you guys doing out there? Announce yourselves, please.
You notice one of them will ride forward. As she does so, you can see it is clearly a female ghoul. You notice the other ghouls kind of start getting a bit closer. As she stamps up a little bit on her ghoul steed, you see she looks at all of you. Good evening, travelers. What brings you out into this forsaken wilderness so far from the comforts of civilization?
Oh, we're just out for a little hunt, finding some wild deer and stuff to eat.
You notice her eyes kind of flash amongst all of you, and then they rest towards you, Runok, and she switches her language to Darakul, where she says, "Tell me this is a joke. You wouldn't be traveling with these ones for no purpose."
What business is it of yours what our purpose is?
You see she narrows her eyes as she looks at you carefully, and you see she kind of moves a little bit in her saddle, and you notice now that she has a lance in her hand, kind of held at her side, and you realize the other riders do as well. They're getting a little bit antsy here. You should see she looks towards you again. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check here, Runok. And you see,
Could I spend inspiration on that?
sure.
Okay, I'll take it.
You notice that her sort of dry, cracked skin stretches as her smile extends just a little bit, and she says, "It is wise of you," and this is all in Darakul, "to not reveal yourself, but certainly you can see us. I know why you are here, but we must attend to formalities. Show me your invitation."
Ah, yes. Very well. And Runak turns to everyone else and says, "The invitation. I need to see the invitation, everybody." To the wedding.
Refresh my memory, but when did we get the invitation?
Archie, check your inventory, bud.
Yep. Art scale. Produces it.
All right, whose sheet is it on? Oh my goodness, don't tell me nobody wrote down the invitation.
When did we get this? Was this in the cave?
The
This was
cave
in-
with the reavers.
You got
Yeah,
it.
okay. I wasn't there that session.
See, I have letter of introduction. Is that it? On Archigale's inventory.
I don't think so. I wouldn't think it'd be worded like that. Well, as
Archie,
you
you
guys
put-
know, one of my little
Oh.
house rules is that if
Oh.
you wish to spend inspiration, you can suddenly produce something that you forgot to write down.
That's what I was gonna say. Archie, you put it back here in this other pocket. Here it is. And I'll burn my inspiration now.
All right. And those of you guys that might recall this, the invitation is written on a piece of skin in like blood. So you pull out this dried skin invitation, and you notice the ghoul stretches her hand out, taking one hand off the lance, and stretches her hand as she leans over, asking you to place it in her hand.
Here it is. It just was tucked away in a safe spot.
You notice she licks her lips as she looks at you, Grim, and you can hear this like rasping air coming out of her lungs as she takes the page and puts it up to her face and looks at it carefully. You see she makes some ums and ahs as she looks at it and kind of crinkles it a little bit. And you can see she's taking her sweet time to, gauge the authenticity of this document.
If you know what that is, you know that you shouldn't waste our time.
You see she raises her eyes, glances towards you, Runak, for a moment, and then looks back towards you, Grim, and now speaking in common once again, she says, "Welcome then, good guests. My master will be pleased by your arrival. If you wish, my patrol can provide you escort to the temple."
And I'll reach up for the invitation back, and I'll say, "No, I think we're fine. No, I think we're fine. We'll be fine. Appreciate it. It's, nice to get a walk in."
You see she holds the invitation close to her. "I must insist. You'll be safer with us."
Insight?
Sure, give me an insight check there, Glory. Yeah, you realize here, Glory, that she's being stubborn about this because she's trying to fulfill what she sees as an important duty.
I assure you that is not necessary. I prefer you continue your current duties.
As she's still holding on to the invitation, she says, "Our stated duties are to make sure that guests of the wedding arrive unmolested."
Are they saying that in Dergul or are they saying that in common?
Nope, she switched back to common at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, I would prefer to not get molested.
You see she stretches her smile as she takes you in, Laud. It's sort of a chilling look as you realize the face that you're looking at typically eats people like you.
Well, guys, what do you think?
It is probably advisable to allow them to escort us.
Just remember, too, we may be expecting more friends in the morning.
You say that out loud, Barnaby?
Next to Glory.
So you're just trying to whisper that quietly?
Yeah. I'll walk over to Runak and I'll say, "What about our friends arriving tomorrow? I bet that would be dangerous."
Yes. Are we leaving currently?
I see that you've set up for sleep. You must be tired. My ghouls will guard you until the morning, and then we shall escort you.
Okay, sounds good. Do I get my invitation back, please?
You see she looks down at you once again, that raspy air just coming out of her mouth, and she slowly extends the invitation back to you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm to write it down in my inventory.
Hey, that's a great idea.
I will begin ritual casting my hut again. I want to sleep outside.
All right, you notice the ghouls give you a little bit of distance. But much as you know, Runak, ghouls don't need to sleep, so essentially they just stare at you. All right, anything special you guys are doing? The hut is going to get conjured here momentarily. Anything else?
I'm just telling everyone to just go. Just let's let them help us, and it'll all get sorted out in the morning.
All right, so as a
I'll say-
reminder, even though you don't see them on the map, the Huldra are technically with you, so think of them as probably being in the tents at the moment. And yeah, if you confer with them, particularly Halfreed, she agrees with Runak's assessment that, yeah, just let them escort you to the river. No sense in, causing a big fuss at this point. All right.
And then as things lighten up a bit, I'll go to Barnaby and say, "Hey, you got that fancy aura now, but if you keep running away, that doesn't help much. You're gonna have to stick a little closer, I think, this time, bud."
I know, but I was looking to make sure there wasn't any more coming around the other corner. I'm new at this aura thing.
You're doing great.
He was just prepared for a tactical retreat.
All right, guys. So as you settle in for the night, you take your tents and you rest, but part of your mind can't get off the fact that there are undead creatures all around you, still as statues, but clearly watching you. So you guys do the best you can to sleep. Those of you that take advantage of Laud's hut, knowing you're a little bit more protected because it's unlikely they'll be able to break into the hut. Anybody that chooses a tent, probably not as safe and, just not all that comfortable. However, as the morning comes, you notice that the light from the sky sort of lights up, and very quickly, as the time of dawn approaches, as the sun first starts to rise, you notice blistering bolts of radiant energy summoned down from the skies, just strike into the ghouls, obliterating them instantly.
I knew it would work.
Nice.
As the
Runak hides under some blankets to make sure he doesn't get hit too.
Fair enough. As the Valkyries land, you notice that they don't look particularly shocked or anything like that. You notice they just sort of land after the radiant energy has destroyed the undead around, looking towards you, and they say, the leader says, "Are you ready to go? We have only a little bit further to take you to the river."
Yep, all set.
Yeah, I guess we're ready. And then I'll play my musician tune to give inspiration. Well, did we get a long rest or no?
Yep, you get a long rest.
Okay, so I'll get my inspiration back, and then I will give inspiration to. You don't lose inspiration on a long rest if you had it already, right? So I know Grim used his and Runak used his, so I'll give those two back. But I don't think Glory used one, so I'll give it to Caliban.
Yeah, standard inspiration. No, I don't know your special ability if it says anything otherwise.
It just says heroic inspiration, so there's nothing like particular about it.
Yep, then no, you wouldn't lose it.
Okay, so I'll give it to those three.
Thank you.
All right. So the Valkyries, much to their word, they take you up into the skies once again, bringing you within a couple of hours' travel to the narrow part of the river. As you arrive there, you can see the water is pretty slow moving. And at this point, the narrowest point of the river, it might only be 10, 15 feet across, something along those lines. The Valkyries make sure you're all off. They say their goodbyes to the Huldra specifically, seeming to pretty much ignore you guys, and then take to flight once again. The Huldra now look towards you and look towards the river, and you see Halfreed says, "Okay, what is the plan?"
We march.
Make our way through quietly, avoid detection if we can. But if they find us, we can just, show that invitation again.
Who is the invitation for again? Do we know what they look like?
It was the Reavers, so it's hard to say. We're not going to pass ourselves as a bunch of dwarven Reavers.
But I could make myself look like whatever I want, though. So I could be the guy at least, or gal.
And you're
Oh.
+7? Or +6? Well, no, +10. How many how many the shield maidens are with us? Spear maidens?
Is there a handout, Adam, that says exactly what's in the invitation?
Yeah, we have it. It's under handouts.
And
It is indeed. Chapter 3, the Blood Marriage Player Handouts, Handout Wedding Invitation.
how many shield maidens are with us?
You have 5 grace points, so there are 5. Half-reed and 4 others.
I will give each of them one of the cultist robes that we have. We have 7 of them, so that they can kind of mask their identities as we're walking through this area.
They look reluctant to do so, but if you insist, they will begrudgingly don them.
I will insist.
They begrudgingly don them.
And then probably one for, I don't know who the most standoutish of our crowd is. It's probably like Grim and maybe Caliban. Give them the other 2, because we have 7 of them total.
I have one on my sheet as well, so I think I'm okay there. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to don that on now.
All right, and I guess maybe I'll wear one. I'm probably pretty recognizable as this walking ball of person.
I know
I'm
I have
putting on
one.
the so we're putting on the cultist robes.
I have a cultist robe as well.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? We're going to kind of a wedding that's for these people, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I even have a cultist mask, by the way.
Runak will change into that badass dwarf that came in on the like ghostly animal, or the glowing one.
The ghost boar? Okay, sure, you can change into that dwarf. All right, and that reminds me, that lasts 1 hour for the spell, is that right?
For the disguise self?
Yes.
I believe so. Let me double check.
All right, yep, just double check that. Not critical at the moment, but just so we understand. Rest of the team, you're facing this narrow river. Doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult. Slow moving. Anything special you're doing other than wading across?
I'm going to use my quarterstaff in front of me and just kind of poke, trying to help make sure it seems stable as we cross.
All right, fair enough. And am I assuming here, Runak, every hour you're recasting this spell?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. If that should change, let me know. All right, just for comedy's sake, I'm going to ask everybody to give me an acrobatics check as you cross the river. All right, most of you get across this slow-moving water. No real issues here. Grim, somehow your boot gets stuck, and as you lean down to try to pull it out, you lose your balance, fall on your back, and you're on your back kind of like a turtle with your feet up in the air, your arms up in the air, and eventually one of the Huldra, your companions, comes over and kind of gives you a good lift up and pulls your boot out, and you shake yourself off. No worse for wear as you guys cross the river.
It was deliberate. It was deliberate.
I'm sure it was. Some insane athlete you are.
Yeah, let me lift big rocks. I can't walk though. Mm-hmm.
Hey, are you sure you have that invitation still on you?
Yeah, it's still on my in my back pocket here, crumpled up like homework.
Put that somewhere safe. That's the only thing that might keep us alive if more of these people come.
I got it.
All right, you guys continue traveling. I'm assuming here, based on having this map, that you guys want to kind of do something that's basically like this, Let me know if I'm on the right mark here or you're trying to take a completely different route.
Seems like
Sounds
a long
reasonable.
walk, but yep.
All right, fair enough. So again, as you guys enter this area, the first little bit is kind of uneventful, nothing really all that special happening. After you travel for a few hours, however, you start to get the sensation, the realization perhaps, of just how quiet it is here on this side of the river. You don't hear the sound of any small animals, you don't see any birds, you don't spot a single squirrel, nothing. It is as though these woods are shorn of any and all life.
Oh, that's weird. Well, if we do spot an animal, maybe we should talk to it, and I'll give that scroll of speak with animals to Barnaby.
I don't need a scroll. I can speak to animals times 2.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, gnomes and ancient paladins can both get the spell, so I'm good.
okay. I knew you could do it. I just wasn't sure if it used a slot.
Not on my gnome side, but thanks.
Well, I'll keep it for me.
We're gonna stand out like sore thumbs in here. Well, except for Runok, but we seem to be only living things in these woods.
I don't know. Runok's the first dwarf I've seen since we crossed the river.
Indeed.
Hey, what kind of rock is that over there, dwarf?
That's gray rock.
I believe that is accurate.
All right, you guys continue traveling, making about a half a day's journey so far, when you see some movement off to the side. As you guys all stop and you look in the distance, you can see a shambling dwarf moving quite slowly, but kind of veering towards your group.
We should destroy it
wounded?
or run.
Does he look wounded?
Might be one of the undead ones they were talking about.
Runok, there's your people right there.
I'll take out my crossbow, kind of have it prepared.
Okay.
Adam, I'm going to put on my shield. Would I also have time at all to cast a cantrip as well?
Sure. All right, so am I assuming you guys have stopped, or are you continue marching, or are you trying to charge after the shambling dwarf?
Can I take a hidden position?
Sure, yep. Go ahead and throw a stealth check as you try to hide.
I think we should
Yeah,
just
I'm not going to try to hide, but is he coming towards us, Adam? Is he running? Shambling. I'm kind of put shambling in my brain, trying to make it fit.
Shambling is slow, slugged movement. So a step here, a step there. He is aiming your direction, but not at a high speed, no.
So
I'll
we just
walk
keep
in
moving.
front of. I'll walk in front of the group.
In front, as in putting yourself between the dwarf and the rest of the team?
We could just
Yeah,
try
that's
to
where
walk around them while we're doing our thing.
Yeah, we don't want to get bogged down here.
Yeah, I said we keep moving. Just keep an eye on it as we go.
Well, in my mind, we're going that direction anyway, and he's walking towards us, right?
He's coming from off to your side, so you're heading north. He's like from the northwest, and he's kind of walking your direction. If you continue just walking straight, based on current speeds, if his speed doesn't change, he won't be anywhere close to you.
We
You
could
don't want
just
to talk
kind
to
of
this guy.
we could just steer like northeast a little bit.
What are you afraid of? Is it he might need help? You think we're the only ones knows about this thing?
I bet he's undead.
Yeah, they said there were a bunch of, like, they were all dead in here. We can just avoid it. It's probably brainless.
Brainless.
Do you need us to tell you what that means, Grim?
I teed that one up for you. All right, fine. We'll let him shamble away from us.
All right, you guys continue marching forth, and yes, the shambling dwarf changes trajectory, but oh so slowly to the point that you easily outpace him. You continue marching for another 20 or 30 minutes, and then you spot another one to your east. And realizing, oh, yep, that's another one, you just keep moving, no real issues. And then off in the distance, you spot another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. They seem to be all in this area. After traveling for a full day's travel, I'm going to put you halfway between these two squares. It is becoming nighttime. It is late. The sun has descended, or mostly descended. What would you like to do?
How far away are we right now
From what?
from from the ruins?
Oh
I
man,
guess.
we just barely moved. We are.
So
it was epic.
based on the map of how far you have to go, you're estimating something like 5 more days travel.
Got it. Okay. Well, we're not going to be able to march there in one go, so we're going to have to rest at some point. We can always put up the hut and be safe inside.
You know, I think I might take you up on that offer tonight. Now, no to this weird cuddling, though.
Yeah, it might be best to sleep in our armor too.
Yeah, I don't relish fighting in my skivvies again, but I know there's downsides to sleeping in the armor. It's awfully uncomfortable.
What's the downside, Adam, that you
Yeah.
don't get a long rest?
You basically only get back like half of the hit dice that you would normally get, assuming you get a long rest.
I'm good with that. We're healthy still, right?
Think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So all of you are trying to bundle up in the hut. Keep in mind you've got 5 Huldra with you, and keep in mind the size of the hut. How would you like to do this?
Yeah, I think so. It was 9 total is what we can get in there.
Well, then I'll make sure I stay with the Huldra because I'm holding the shield and sword, and her sister, the surviving sister, is actually traveling with us, right, Adam?
That is correct.
Yeah, so I will make sure I'm at least staying with them. So I'll take my leave and hang out with a bunch of girls.
I think, and Caliban would do the same. He'll hang out with the girls.
All right, fair enough. So 2 of you outside of the hut. Sounds like the rest of you inside the hut. So the hut conjures up after 10 minutes or so. After about 20 minutes inside the hut, and those of you outside the hut kind of trying to do the best you can to rest and relax, you can hear the sounds of shambling as a dwarf is getting closer to you.
Hi, girls. We got company. Remember those stumbling dwarfs? Well, they're coming at us now. Shields on.
You see, they prepare for battle as well, kind of standing here. You notice that as you're watching, with your dark vision, you spot this pretty far away, Grim. You see the dwarf, and yeah, it's pretty obvious that this is some kind of zombie dwarf, and it slowly continues shambling and getting closer and closer. Is there anything you're doing at a range, or are you letting it get up close?
I'm gonna shake their hut, make sure everyone's awake, and take a battle position, not staying within camp, you know.
Just
Try-
show them the invitation.
I don't think these are concerned about our invitation. But
What
I
about
have it in
the-
my back pocket.
What about the robes? Will it protect us in any way?
We'll see.
Yeah, they can burst, or I guess it's Archigale saying it, so they can burst radiant damage around him if he wants to.
All right, let's just get this over with.
All right. You guys remain here as the dwarf continues getting closer and closer. So as you're watching, sort of in battle readiness here, Grim, are you waiting to see if this dwarf takes some kind of aggressive action before you act, or are you trying to get out in front of it and attack it first?
I would say if he keeps walking towards me, he's within 10 feet, I'm gonna hold my action to if he gets within range, I'm gonna slice him down.
Show him the invitation.
Ugh, fine, bet. Hey, shambling dude, we're here for the wedding. Leave us alone.
You say that, it doesn't seem to react at all. It continues walking until it gets right up next to the hut, at which point it slowly extends its hand and scratches at the hut. And then the other hand does the same.
Hey, bud, stop that. I'm gonna push him.
That's the fastest little critter we've ever seen.
He stumbles back a step or so and then steps back towards the hut and continues scratching. Oh, now there's another one coming from the other way. It's getting closer and closer.
Well,
Are,
come on, Grim.
are they attracted to it?
They're attracted to somebody in the hut. Maybe we can figure out who they're
Maybe the
attracted
robes.
to.
Hey, Runa, get out here. Are these your friends?
Runak will go outside of the hut.
Okay.
Runa, come over here. See if they follow you.
Okay. He does. Do they change their stance?
They do not. Those two that are here are both standing next to the hut, but now there's a third one, and then a fourth and a fifth. And you see these two make their way up to the Huldra and then stop within just a hand's breadth of distance from them, seemingly just staring at the Huldra. The third one does the same to Caliban.
Caliban kind of rears back with his sword and then waits. They're acting very strange for undead.
I say we drop the hut and see what happens.
They think they're after the robes?
It probably they just going automatically and they don't realize what's in front of them. I'm guessing.
Seem very targeted on that hut, or somebody in that hut.
Or the hut itself.
Maybe Grim, when he spoke in common, maybe they only know Dwarven or your dead language.
I can
Uh,
talk in Dwarven. Hey, what do you guys want? I'll call it in Dwarven.
There's slight bits of moaning that seems to come from them and vaguely dwarvish gibberish, but certainly not words.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Archgale could come out and see if they follow Archgale around. Keep moving, though.
Sure.
And there's another one, and another one, and another one.
Get rid of the hut. Get rid of the hut before this turns crazy.
I'll drop the hut, see what happens, and try to make my way away from them as quickly as possible.
As the hut vanishes, you notice suddenly a bright light flares forth from Archgale's chest, where the holy robes of Sister Adeline currently reside. You notice the dwarves seem to stare at this somewhat in amazement. This light seems to create a bright light of 10 foot and another 10 foot of dim light. And you notice that all of the dwarves now seem to be focused on it. Those that were standing in front of the Huldra or Caliban move to stare at Archgale.
Oh, wow, it was the robes.
He's got a little entourage that's following him. They don't seem to be attacking, though.
Does it have a power for undead? I don't remember the power it has.
Hey, Archie, tell him to leave.
You notice more and more through the woods coming closer like bugs drawn to a light.
Can you shine the light off a cliff or something and see if they'll follow it and just fall off?
Well, maybe we could use them. They could be our army in the fight.
Oh, that could be useful.
That's how the robes can win.
Hey, Archgale, try to give them a command. Try to move them over there to that space.
And I know it's we're saying robes, but it's actually like a locket.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it's confusing, but yes. Yeah, I mean, am I still controlling Archegale? I don't know, but if so, yeah, he moves around, see what happens.
Yeah, feel free to do so since his player's not here today. Yes, if Archgale moves around, they seem to crowd in after him. They seem almost like they're mesmerized by him, or perhaps the relic.
Tell him to go away. Give him a command.
Not go away. We might want them. That's a pretty good idea. Maybe just see if he can tell them to all move over there.
Yeah, he directs them over there. He says, "Go over there, everybody, all of you, go over there."
They don't seem to respond in any way. Occasionally, just a tiny bit of a moan or a guttural grasp of air seems to escape their lips, but other than that, they are silent.
What about putting it in the bag of holding or something? Maybe going into another dimension will make it stop this foolishness.
It does seem to be attracting them from a long ways away. We probably have a beacon on us.
And are more appearing still?
There are, yes. You can hear them and see them throughout the woods, those of you with dark vision, as though they're filtering and getting closer and closer. At count right now, you would guess there's at least 30 nearby you.
It's getting uncomfortable as far as numbers now. That's maybe a good idea, as long as they don't attack. Get ready to take it back out of the bag if they do attack.
The only question is mechanically about that. Dropping a tune-it and sending it into another plane of existence. Or a dimension.
You're asking if that would break attunement?
Yeah, or yeah.
Let me double check the rules on attunement. I don't think so, but
And how much room are they giving us to?
so my assumption is that where Archgale is standing, you guys are all pretty close to Archgale.
Yes.
I am.
They're giving you about 5 feet of distance.
And if he moves, do they open a path or they're just in the way?
Are you trying to walk towards them?
Yeah, you gotta test it out.
All right, so as you walk towards them, they do not open a path, but you can see they slightly turn as though to make sure that Archgale is always centered to them. As far as the attunement question, if you kept it in the bag for 24 hours, then attunement would break.
Copy, thank you.
Well, the robes do have a crazy damage dealing thing. It's not that actually. It's not that much, but it might be able to destroy all these guys depending on how much hit points they have. I think we can roll with this though. If they, can we still sleep here?
You and the hut might be okay, but you might not be able to move the next day. They might be 10 deep by then. The rest of us might get trampled to death by them.
We're not going to be able to sleep.
This is a real conundrum.
They're gonna keep on scratching at the door like a cat.
Whoa. Okay. Um, you
Hey,
guys
Iron
want to?
Eyes, have you ever seen this before? What are these dwarves?
Was that a question for the Huldra?
Iron Eyes, yeah. I forget what's her name?
Halfreed.
Halfreed. Have you ever?
She shakes her head no. She will tell you that they, much like the Valkyries, they don't go to Nordheim. They don't have like a curse or a superstition about it. It's not been decreed that they're not allowed to go there, but they essentially stay within their own borders, so they don't have much experience in this area. They've heard crazy tales from travelers, something like undead being in the woods, but they've never sent the Shield Sisters here or been there themselves. More and more and more are arriving.
Well, they don't seem to be doing anything. They're just attracted to this. Can't we just, like, let them be?
Except that we're gonna be drowning in them. How are we gonna move?
I don't know, we just walk with them.
It's gonna get increasingly difficult. They're surrounding Archgale.
Hey Adam, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna look at him, and I'm gonna like get real close to one of them, shoulder to shoulder, and I kind of bump him. Does it break his gaze, and does he seem upset at me for bumping him at all?
No, you bump him just a little bit. He kind of shifts slightly and then moves back slowly as though getting back to the exact position he was in.
Does anybody got a mage hand? What if we put that thing, like, in a tree, and then we sleep, and then we just grab it and move in the morning?
Sure. I don't have mage hand, but
You're
I could just
suggesting we're gonna hang one of the most holy relics of the entire continent in a tree, and it'd be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I love the way you worded that.
I could put
It
the hut
seems
around
like-
it. Nothing can get in the hut.
It seems like they want it, right? They were scratching at it. So
Well, they're scratching at the door, but they're not. They don't seem to be reaching for it. Maybe they just realize it doesn't belong in this undead area. So I don't know if anybody has like a steel box or something that maybe an iron box or something that may block it. Of course, the bag of holding idea was already there, but there may be something else.
I mean, we can put it in the bag and see what happens.
yeah, let's put it in the bag and see what happens. It might stop them from being attracted over here. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
I think it's a good idea.
I'm 51% okay with that.
Good enough for me. And Archigale will put it in the bag of holding.
All right, as he takes it off of his neck and then slips it into the bag, you notice immediate movement from all of these corpses. They move again very slowly, moving about, bumping into each other, bumping into you, but more or less getting closer and closer to you, closing in as it seems to be getting tighter and tighter. And you're starting to look around and realize just how many bodies there are.
Oh God. But they're coming closer. They're not like dispersing randomly. All right.
No, think of it almost as like a squeeze as they're slowly getting closer and closer. You're noticing more of them further out. You guys are sort of in the center of this massive clump, and everything is getting tighter and tighter around you.
Archigale will pull it back out.
All right, as he does so, you'll notice the movement from all of the ones that are within the light stops, and they all turn and they look directly at Archgale. The ones that are further away from the light, you still hear some movement. You see some shambling. They bump almost like dominoes as they kind of all ricochet a little bit. None of them fall, but you can see the movements from distances away, and you can hear the sound of movement from outside of the light as more and more of them are closing in. But once they seem to get into that light, they seem mesmerized and stop moving.
This is bad. Maybe it's giving us a bit of a safe buffer. Archgale, can you walk ahead and see if they move out of your way?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll try that. Like, everyone sort of stay close to Archigale, as close as you can, and we'll try to move through the crowd.
Is that what everybody would like to do?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so Archgale starts with the Holy Robes of Sister Adeline around his neck once again. He starts moving forward. He has to be careful the dwarves don't move out of his way, but they're stone, like statue almost like. So as you kind of like step around them, go side face and slide through them where you can, they just rotate and turn to make sure he's always their focus. And then once he gets further enough away that some of those are no longer in the light, you can certainly hear them begin to move almost immediately. So think of it as sort of like a tornado of undead, and when you're in the eye, you're roughly okay. But when you're not in the eye, there's undead all around you.
This is not good. We can't control them, and we're going to stand out really badly when we get anywhere close to the ruins.
Yeah, well, stealth may not be an option anymore.
Well, I think we could still get a long rest, I guess. We could try to sleep it off. I don't know how hard that's going to be, but it sounds like there's no other option. What are we going to do? Swing away at 50 undead?
Mm.
I don't know if sleeps can be possible, but if we keep moving ahead, maybe we can move faster than they are.
Well, they seem to not. They can't get through the hut, so if we need to sleep, we can at least get a little bit of space for that.
Maybe
take
they'll
turns.
be like Grim and fall in the water.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I say we
oh.
keep moving, and then when we have somewhat of a buffer, we try to do the hut.
Yeah, I say we keep moving.
Agreed.
Maybe there's some kind of line that we can put down that they can't cross. I don't know. Archgale, you have any religious insight on this?
I don't know. Can Archie make a religion check?
I feel like this probably would fall more into Arcana. He can make that check if he likes.
I can do Arcana. I'm pretty decent at that.
Sure.
And by decent, not nearly as good as Archgale.
So I guess what I would say Archgale would know is that there are certain magics that could be used to create something like that. Maybe some kind of like a barrier, a life barrier, a barrier against undead. He certainly heard of spells like that. I don't know that he has that spell.
No, he doesn't have anything like that.
Maybe there's a natural barrier that we can use. They all are pretty short. Maybe it's a small wall might slow them down enough that we can get some distance.
I think that's a good move.
Building a wall.
We could outrun these guys. We remember that. So it's like there's a lot of them here, but if we just go quickly, I know it's dark. We'll light some torches. We go quickly through. I guess the radiance of the robes will guide us.
Gonna be exhausted, I'm just gonna let you know. Or we take 6-hour shifts in a tiny hut.
We can always default to that. I think we try to shake them for now, and if we have to, we can do shifts in the tiny hut. But I don't know how other people are going to sleep with all of them scratching at the hut, and the rest of us, the ones on watch, having to sit on the hut. I don't know. Try to avoid being crushed.
Let's do it.
Well, I mean, are they entering the tents?
No. They're not doing anything. They're standing there, staring.
Well, then they would just circle around the hut. They won't go into the tents. People can sleep in the tents too.
Exactly.
We'll just have to move through them in the morning.
That sounds
Agreed.
right.
As long as the tents are in the circle of light. Whatever you do, don't get outside that circle.
Well, I don't think they need to be though, right? Because they're avoiding everything else and just coming towards that.
Yeah, because when they came up, Archie was in the tent, and in fact, they even stopped in front of the Huldra booth, and they didn't do anything to me. We just went right to the tent.
Suppose were we not in the? I guess were we not in the realm of the scope of the radiance?
You kind of cut out there a little bit, Keith. I don't know if that was a question for me or I'm using.
More of amusing, right? I guess were we not in the scope of the radiance of the? I guess when he was in the hut.
We were not in the radiance because it was in the hut. It doesn't come out of
Right.
the hut.
Good point. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They just walked up to the walls of it and started kind of scratching on the walls, but they couldn't do anything. So you could.
I'm going to bed.
All right. Well, we'll have to find some space because these things, if they're already in there, then they're going to be on top of us.
All right. So
It's
again,
a sleepover.
the tents that you guys had out, you can think of this as in this, circle of light. So think of 20 feet from the center. They're still there, right? Like they've crowded up against all of you guys, but those of them in that light range are still. They're not moving. So there's no room really to do much with the huts, or I'm sorry, do much with the tents. If you're trying to conjure the hut, from memory, you can't conjure it with opponents being inside of it. So you would have to find some space to summon the hut, right, where none of these creatures are. So at the moment, it doesn't look like either of these are really options. They're crowding the tents. Like if you guys try to, go in the tents, it's difficult to kind of maneuver around them. So think of this as, again, being very, very crammed tight.
Well, I'm gonna just go to sleep on the floor here, surrounded by zombies. This is terrible.
If we're outside of the light, do they act hostile towards us, or do they just keep going past towards the light?
So nobody's tried exiting the light yet. Would you like to try that?
Sure.
All right. So you
Not as Archgale, obviously, but
right, as Runak. So you're leaving the light and you're stepping past through all of these undead creatures, slipping by, bumping them, and trying to get through the throng of them to get outside the light.
yeah, because when they first came, they weren't in the light, but they sort of avoided interacting with anybody else. They just went towards it.
Okay, fair enough. So you push through the undead bodies, you're moving through, you're bumping them. Again, you notice almost like waves of grain as you touch one and it stews back a little bit. It creates like a domino effect, and that goes out in this area. You slip past as many of them as you can. You get outside the light, realize that you're still deep in undead. All the ones outside of the light are trying to crowd in and get closer. They're bumping into you. It's much more difficult to navigate in this area. You're having to be very careful to kind of scoot around them, jump around them, slide around them, do whatever you can. It's much more hectic and chaotic out here. Are you trying to push outside to get like completely beyond them, or do you try to slip back into the light now?
Yeah, I mean, if they are not acting like they're trying to grab onto Runak, he will still keep trying to go past.
All right, it takes you a good 2 to 3 minutes of carefully moving past all of these undead, and then you finally get to a place where you're outside of the press. And as you look backwards, you realize there's probably about 50 of these creatures between you and the light just from one angle. So if you add this all up in your head, there's at least a few hundred of them surrounding you.
Well, not surrounding me anymore.
Correct.
But they're all sort of not paying attention to Runak and just going past. The ones that are struggling in are going past towards the circle of light, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so Runak will yell over to everyone and say, "Yeah, they don't seem to care out here."
You're
Interesting.
not the best guinea pig for this experiment.
Yeah.
But I'll follow.
Oh, that's true.
All right, Adam, I'll take a step out and try to follow and see what they say with an orc doing it.
Much more difficult for you because you're a lot bigger, Grim, so there's not as much space. You're having to really try to muscle through these guys just to get some space. Are you willing to like throw them, or are you trying to be very careful as you move through?
Oh, I don't want to start a fight with 500 zombies, so I'm gonna try to be careful.
All right, give me an acrobatics check to represent your efforts of trying to be nimble as you move through this area and not disrupt them too much. Yeah, you're able to do this quite well as you're stepping very carefully, moving side to side. Much like Runak, once you get past that bit of light, you notice that they're much more frenetic. There's a lot more movement out here as they're all kind of bumping into each other. Occasionally, you swear you even hear just a grasp of a word, just a slip of a word, but you're not quite sure if it was or just a moan or an utterance of some kind. But yeah, you're doing the best you can. Are you trying to make your way to Runak?
Yeah, but I'm having trouble smelling them from the crowd. as I
Yeah,
try to
throw me a
find 'em.
perception check to see if you can even spot them through all these bodies. Yes, luckily you do. With that extended dark vision, you're having to like stand up and kind of go on tippy toes every now and again. Mostly you stand pretty heads and tails over these dwarves, so it's not too much of a trouble. But with so many of them stacked together, occasionally it's a little bit difficult. But yeah, you do manage to spot Runak kind of standing out there in the back, and you slip your way through and you get there.
You recognize any of those as your cousins?
No.
Okay, now what? Archie sleeps alone with his dwarf undead army, and we sleep out here?
I think so, yes. We could set up the hut out here, at least.
Holdruth and everybody, make your way over here.
Well, Archie's got to stay by himself then, unless we put the amulet somewhere.
I don't want to hang it on a tree because what resource? Hey, that just reminded me. What resources do we have? Maybe we could really dig through our spells and character sheets right now and see if we can't see if we can make sure that these robes do not get taken away from us. I think this might have been some foreshadowing earlier tonight.
I just have like rope. I don't have any spells that can do anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Your voice is right in my head right about now, Adam. Like rope trick, that kind of stuff, right?
I don't have
Yeah,
anything that comes in.
Don't have any of that.
We don't have a wizard. I don't think we have most of the utility spells.
I could try to see what these dwarves are thinking. Yeah. I think we just set up camp out here and let Archie sleep with his new friends.
It's a option.
All right, and as you guys starting to think about this in your current spot, you realize as more and more of them are coming your way to get in this location, the wall of what is closer to Archgale is getting closer to you guys as more of them are coming through, bumping into you. So you're realizing that if you tried to set up camp here within a short period of time, it's going to be overrun by them.
I don't know. I think our only option is to just run and get space, and then set up the hut, and then the next morning keep moving.
So I think Archie already used the vial of sunlight, didn't he?
Was that a one-time use?
I thought it was
I don't know.
a daily effect on it.
So it'll cast
Yeah.
30-foot bright light. Usually that, well, I don't know. Brian's thinking that maybe that will give us a buffer to give us time to get to GTFO.
You can use this once per dawn.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's two things. There's a vial of sunlight, which is I think like an actual like consumable item, and then there's also the robes have an effect that's very similar to that.
Well, no, the vial says you can use it again at dawn.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The robes can like incinerate them, doing like an average of 21 points of damage to undead within a range of them.
I don't think we want to attack these things. They don't seem hostile.
Yeah. Question, Adam. When Archie was putting the robes into the bag of holding, at what when he's holding them, they're still lit up, right? As long as he's not, even if he's not wearing it.
While they're in his possession, yes.
Okay. So if you put it on the ground, they would turn off.
You haven't tried that? So far, it's not been outside of anybody's hands yet.
Archegale will put it on the ground for a split second, see, and then pick it back up.
It does maintain its light.
So theoretically, even Archegale could come hang out.
Yeah, as long as these things don't like pick it up and run with it, which it doesn't seem like they're going to. So we can maybe like put it on the ground, and then we just move, 100 feet away from it, and then go pick it up in the morning after we sleep.
Yeah, maybe more like 500
Yep,
feet away with
but
how
there-
many of these?
Yeah, but there's more and more coming, and this is only day 1 of day 5 marching.
They aren't the only thing out here.
True.
Yeah, but we have to figure that, like, I think that the fact that this pacifies them means it's the right way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're worried about something else coming and picking it up? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we want, if we're going to do shifts, whoever's awake maybe needs to keep the amulet. One of us needs to always have it. We can't leave it unattended.
Oh, we could do that. Somebody like climb up a tree, and then like keep it on them, and then when their shift's over,
Just
you
rotate.
basically rotate. You like get somebody else up there, and then you kind of get down and leave, which would keep them probably at a point centered away from us. We still have the amulet on us, but nothing can grab it and run from you.
Yeah, I mean, that works for me.
But Archie, if you ever need, you can use the vial of sunlight if you need to get these fuckers away from you, right? I think you have it on your character sheet, don't you, Archie?
I think he does.
There's a handout called Vial of Sunlight, and I do remember Archie using it once, and that was weeks ago.
Do we know if these creatures here who are just wandering the forest will be affected by sunlight?
It says causing harm or discomfort to vampires or other undead creatures that are sensitive to it. It says that are sensitive to it, but
yeah, I don't know if baseline zombies are. I mean, we could do like an Arcana check or something, and we don't even know what these things are. They may or may not be affected by that. I think ghouls are. I don't know if zombies are.
So to try to move us along a little bit, it sounds like the leading option right now is asking one, so I'm assuming probably Archgale to start, to climb a tree and just kind of try to relax in the tree while the rest of you guys push through the throng and get as far away from the throng as you can, where you suspect there won't be enough to crowd your camp, and then you try to camp there.
Yes.
Okay, and then how much time is changing hands before somebody then pushes all the way through the throng again to get to the tree to relieve Archgale?
Okay, like, are we really gonna just leave him there? Like, not go in like pairs?
Yeah, we could do pairs. I mean, I was thinking it's like watch, right? So, 2-hour shift kind of a thing.
Okay.
I'll go with Archgill.
All right, so this first bit of time, so we'll assume a couple of hours, Archgale and Glory have gotten to this tree and kind of pushed their way through as best they could, climbed the tree then. As you climb up the tree, you notice the whole throng of undead shifts around, kind of crowds more amongst the tree. You're looking down now, realizing that trying to get down is going to be pretty challenging without like really kind of bowling pinning them around because there's just so many crowding the tree. You guys do the best you can with this, and once that 2 hours is up, trying to climb down, again, it's absolutely a nightmare pushing through them. There's so much effort involved in this. It's quite tiring, in fact. And even those of you guys that are far enough away when you set up camp and then trying to make sure you don't lose each other, you can see the light from a distance. That makes it easy for the people going to the tree. People leaving the tree kind of have to wait for the two people to arrive. But even those of you guys that set up camp, it doesn't take long, maybe 20, 30 minutes before that area seems to be surrounded by undead as well. And it feels as though setting up anything is quite difficult. If you do get a distance away and manage to, say, summon up the hut, again, before too long, there's many of them pushed right up against the hut, scratching on this. Needless to say, you're not able to get a long rest during this night. It is just very aggravating and quite exhausting. I need everybody to give me a Constitution saving throw.
So do we get the modifier from being next to Barnaby now?
Does this apply? I am not sure. I will say, based on this check, it's not representative of a single moment of where you're standing. So I'm going to say no, because you guys are moving in and out, and this represents a full night. All right, I'm seeing 5 saves so far, so I think we need 2 more. Six. I think just Archgale's remaining. All right, so you're not able to get a long rest. You wake up in the morning, you're feeling a bit tired, no worse for wear at this point. So you can think of this as having gotten some sleep, but not enough to recover any lost abilities or anything like that. Luckily for you guys, I don't think anybody expended any resources. So as you wake up in the morning, it is now daytime out. You realize there is just undead everywhere. What is your plan for moving on? I know you guys voiced some like trying to rush forward to gain distance. What are we thinking?
Well, now we got to get together and have Archie pop the vial of sunlight to give us some space, and then get through the crowd and try to outpace him.
So as it is the morning, the sun is up. Again, it's a little bit gray, clouded skies, you can think of it as, but sunlight sure is coming through, and it doesn't seem to be having any effect on these zombies, if that's what they are.
I think we just need to keep walking. They're not gonna hurt us, but it might be annoying to walk through them. And if they're coming from all directions, even if we run, eventually there's going to be a bunch in front of us too.
Can we have the shield maidens here, these warriors, help us and just form like a wedge, push through them?
There's like 500 of them, though.
They could be like our security, our bodyguards. They're pushing through the crowd, the paparazzi.
So far, you guys have tried to carefully move through the crowds, and that has worked. It's slow going, but it hasn't seemed to cause any other issues. You guys haven't like aggressively tried to bull through them. That might be different if that's what you're thinking. But yeah, how do you guys want to try to move forward?
I think we just get to the front and then keep walking. Like once we get to the the front of the crowd, they'll follow us, but we won't be pushing through hundreds of them.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sounds like we have some
Okay.
agreement there. All right, guys, so I'm going to move us forward here in time as you guys slowly get through the throng of undead, pushing through as much as you can. Eventually, it takes you probably an hour before you find yourself getting into less thick amounts of undead. It's more sparse. They're still slowly shambling towards you, but you get to where there's a little bit more opening and then a little bit more opening, and then finally you're free of them and you're able to move at normal speed again. You guys continue pushing forward into the forest here of Nordheim. You guys managed to get another day's travel to about here. And you can see that the sun is beginning to set once again. You're realizing that you've marched for a full day. You're pretty tired. How would you guys like to proceed?
What's the environment like? Can I look for a natural barrier that would help us set up camp tonight?
You're in a forest, so there's certainly copses of trees, that kind of thing. Natural barrier, I mean, other than maybe a slight change in the elevation, it doesn't seem like there's going to be anything that is like a wall or anything like that. You could certainly, climb up in trees if you wished. But yeah, other than that, it doesn't seem like much.
Getting into trees might not be a bad idea. At least we can maybe sleep up there.
I mean, the hut. They can't get in the hut, right?
Yeah, that's true. But it can't reach all of us, or can't fit all of us. It's only 9. So it still leaves a couple people, 3 left outside. I guess those ones can be on watch.
Yeah, the people outside are on watch.
Well, if you're not in it when it starts, you can't get in. So 3 won't be able to get in at all.
All right, if that is your plan, then we will assume you guys ritually cast the hut, conjuring that up as you're getting ready to lay down. Those of you that are inside the hut feel like safe for the first time in a while. But sure enough, after a little bit of time, you start to notice the undead gathering around you once again. Those of you that are outside, as long as you're not taking any aggressive action, the undead act much like they did before. Are you planning to have Archgill outside, I guess, is the main issue since he's the one with the holy robes?
I think it would make sense for him to be inside so they can't actually get to him and it gets a little more breathing space. So like in the morning, we could drop it and then just kind of wade through again.
But don't we need the light on them?
They when we had the hut the first night, they kind of just went to the thing and were clawing at it, but they couldn't get in. So like they're still attracted to it. I think. I mean, we could test and see what happens. Archgale, if he's in the hut when I cast it, is free to move outside of it afterwards. So
Yeah, let's do that. If it looks like they're acting a fool outside, you can go out.
All right, so Archgale's in the hut for the moment, and then as time passes, say 30 minutes, then an hour, those of you that are trying to sleep, sure enough, those undead begin to cluster around the hut. First a few, then a dozen, then 20, then 30. Without the presence of the holy robes, you're noticing they never stop moving. So they're basically kind of creating almost like a tidal wave, perhaps, or not tidal wave, but a sort of a circle of undead that are kind of getting to the hut, and then slowly as they scratch on it, and they get bumped by other undead, they kind of push a little bit. So they're making this big spiral pattern around the hut. Anybody outside is kind of constantly getting bumped into these undead, having a very difficult time standing still. Trying to rest would be absolutely impossible.
I mean, I think in that case, right, Archgale would probably go outside, right? If they're just being way more disruptive.
All right, if he steps outside, then as soon as he does, the light flares from the holy robes, and all of them within the radius of the light stop moving. Again, there is still this sort of moaning that's going around in this area. It's kind of picking up and filling the area with sorrow, and it's just very difficult to concentrate or focus. As you can see, just so many undead around you. However, since they're sort of in this area of the light, you guys are able to do what you can to try to rest. However, again, it's just very, very uncomfortable, this whole unnatural feel to it. I'll need another Constitution saving throw from everyone. All right, I think I've got everyone. And it looks like, once again, you guys are able to get through the night. You don't qualify for a long rest, but no other negative effects from this sort of in and out bit of sleep, unfulfilling sleep, you might say. You guys push on as the hut drops in the morning. You guys, once again, slowly, carefully push through the throng of undead. Just like the day before, you get distance, you get out front, and then you continue marching on. Traveling again straight towards the area that you're heading. Once you guys get to the end of your now third day of traveling, you realize you got a bit of distance before you actually get to the ruins. And you kind of are going to repeat this same process. So we are at the end of our session time, guys. We'll go ahead and pause it here. When we pick up next week, you will continue moving through these throngs of undead, realizing that you can't really get restful sleep here. You have to be extra careful and continue marching on your way. Guys, hope you enjoyed tonight's session. It was fun and, yeah, a little spooky, and we'll see what happens next week. All right, have a good night, all folks.
All right, thanks, Adam. Good night.
Hey, folks, have a great
Okay.
Christmas too. We'll see you.
Yeah.
Yes, good
Merry
happy
Christmas,
holidays,
guys.
all.
Happy holidays.